that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Who's going to win here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway?
This is the Lone Star Stage. The question is, who will be the Lone Star?
Welcome to Texas Motor Speedway, playing host to our triple header weekend because we kick things off here on Friday. Today, right now, we're about to see the top 16 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. This is round 3 of 4 of the championship. We will find out who eventually gets the win overall at Irwindale just about a month away from now, and eventually who will be the 8 drivers that earn their pro license. I'm Jared Deenda. Joining me once again to my side is Ryan Sage. Will be your tour guides, and there are your pilots. 15 gentlemen and 1 lady. Kelsey Rawlings there, as we are about to introduce you to them. So before we do that, our United States Air Force opening ceremony. Pay attention to the young men and women as they enlist into the United States Air Force.
I'm Major General Ed Thomas, Commander of the Air Force Recruiting Service, and I'm proud to join each of you today to deliver the oath of enlistment to the members of our Air Force Delayed Entry Program. These young Americans are our future leaders, innovators, and warriors, and I'm proud of each of their decisions to join the United States Air Force, the greatest Air Force in the world. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Kevin Landed.
I, Emily Hall.
I, Nicholas Bruce Grigsby.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
According to the regulations.
According to the regulations.
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
And the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you all, and aim high.
Thank you to the United States Air Force for your support of the best country in the world, as well as your support of Formula Drift. Let's, before we meet our top 16 drivers, if you would please stand and remove your hats for our national anthem. Go drifting, and let's meet our top 16 drivers in the Royal Purple Top 16. Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. Let's introduce you to our drivers. First car parked, the only female in competition out here. Make some noise for Kelsey Rawlings. Moving on down the line from Las Vegas in that BMW, it is Blake Olson. There you are, Kelsey. Right behind Kelsey, you can see Blake Olson. Next up in that bright orange Cash Racing G37, it is Jonathan Hurst. Right behind Jonathan Hurst, you'll see him as he makes his way into top 16. He had to do battle in 32. It is Steve Misko. Rounding out the two-car Cash Racing team, got a brand new setup this year. Make some noise from Nashville, Human Rahimi. All right, coming to us from the Pacific Northwest, a duplicate BMW and Pro competition, it is Josh Reynolds. Moving on down the line, that E36, it is Chase Schmidt. Here he is in top 16, I believe for the first time ever, coming to us from the East Coast, it is Mike Power. S14 and a sea of BMWs, make some noise for Derek Madison. We saw him do competition in top 32, and now here he is in the top 16. Make some noise for Joseph Lynn. A longtime competitor piloting that bright orange E30, one of my favorite vehicles. Make some noise for Andy Haitley. Another S15 in the mix. It is Daniel Stuck. Can you feel the love today? We will see. Currently second in points in the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. It is Josh Love. Currently leading the charge and the points here in the Pro 2 Championship, it is Dmitry Brutsky. There it is, feeling the love there. There's Dmitry Brutsky. And moving on down the line and third in points, it is Austin Mata. And last but definitely not least, from Riverside, California, the 909, hold fast, it is Micah Diaz. They're top 16 drivers, this big, massive venue. We put the fans over in the corner so the general public is allowed to join us on the event, but join us online as well. Tell everybody we are live here from Texas Motor Speedway. I'm Jared Dienda, Ryan Sage, and I will be your tour guide. Ryan, overall, you know, we saw minimal. We had 10 buys overall in 32, but now I think now is really when we're going to start cooking with some fire.
Yeah, that was the fastest Pro 2 top 32 pretty much in its history. Typically, we'll have a couple wrecks or some competition timeouts, or especially some one more times. We had none of that. We flew through it. But now that has set us up for an amazing top 16. And take a look at some of these matchups that are definitely going to have or play a role in the championship. Josh Love and Dmitry Brutsky in the same quadrant on the right-hand side of the bracket. Jonathan Hurst left alone up there to do battle against Joe Lynn, Kelsey Rollins, and Michael Diaz. And then, of course, Micah Diaz. And then, of course, we got our third place in points right now, Austin Mata, over on the left-hand side of the quadrant against Mike Power.
And there are your great 8 right now, current standings. If the season ended right now, these 8 drivers would have an opportunity to enter into pro competition because the top 8 finishers in the 2020 season receive their pro license.
Yeah, it is a very pivotal moment. Right now, we are past that halfway point. It is now time to accumulate a points differential that is not going to put you in a situation where you've got to tie with somebody, because then the way that ties are broken this year, in this odd year, is it's going to be by the position that you finished in at the last event. So if you have a guy that wins the event and a guy that gets second place, but they have the same number of points, it's the guy that wins the event that would get the championship in that particular situation.
Right.
So drivers are really needing to try to advance as far as they can, accumulate those points deeper into competition. And it's no easy task, Jared, because we know that this course, brand new layout, is challenging.
It is,
especially
and
that
we saw in 32, man.
It's fast, it's technical, and the run-up is getting drivers anywhere between 70 to 80 miles per hour, and we only know that that's going to increase. And what that has forced them to do is pretty much from the light extinguishing, going full blast into that first outside zone, and then a quick transition into the section of the course where tandem is really going to be important, staying close on that power alley, making sure they're getting to the outside part of outside zone number 3. And then, of course, some of the highlights that we're seeing here have showed us how challenging outside zone 4 is.
Yeah.
That final left-hand sweeper.
Yeah, from that front clip to outside zone 4, just linking that all together. When you transition into that front clip, getting to that second outside zone, linking it into the third, and then powering all the way through. We've seen it very apparent in that chase position, just like Mike Powers and Josh Reynolds, or excuse me, not Josh Reynolds, but Josh Robinson, excuse me. You saw him just overshoot. We saw it from Novak right here. Novak took himself out. Joshua Lynn moves on into top 16. Novak, you see him ready, 3, 2, 1, and there he goes, exit stage right. This is Derek Madison, who looks really aggressive. Derek Madison looks really good. He's in 16. Madison had to do battle against, who was it exactly? It was Hoffman. Yeah, Hoffman.
Yeah,
Pretty Ricky.
And personally, I think that the toughest part of this course right now, outside of the final sweeper, is that section right there, from outside zone 1 to inside clip 1. And it's because the lane for the chase driver basically disappears. And they really have to pick where they want to attack the lead driver as they set up for that power alley. And I think that you can get lost. There can be some confusion there. The timing's really important. And we're going to see the separation here as we get into the top 16 as who has that dialed.
Right. All right, so Misko got a bye run there. Excuse me, no, he advanced on. Miles wasn't able to run. So before we see our first battle, I had an opportunity to catch up with, I believe, a staff sergeant. And thank you. Throw it over to the United States Air Force. We are with Staff Sergeant Anthony Guerra. And Anthony, where are we calling you from right now? You're like down the street, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in Arlington, Texas.
Okay. I got to ask you right out of the gate, are you a car guy?
Somewhat, I'm more so involved, follow the human sports, but I can certainly appreciate the vehicle aspect of it and the human aspect of the vehicles too, and that relationship that they have to have.
Right, man versus machine versus just stick and ball. Wait, hold on. You said you're not a car guy, but you're from Detroit Motor City. I'm seeing Detroit Lions. I'm seeing Tigers. How are you not a car guy?
That's true. I guess you make a good point there. So all the family worked for the big three up there. So I grew up around it. I got interested in other things coming up.
And speaking of other things, how long have you been in the Air Force?
November 2nd will be my 10-year mark. November 2nd will be 10 years.
When did you start? When you were 12? I mean, you got a nice baby face on you, Anthony. You look good, man.
I wish I could say so. I appreciate it. It's just been a clean living,
That's good. That's awesome. So you've been in the Air Force for a while. How many roles have you taken? And now here you are as a recruiter. What got you here? What was your career path?
Well, I started off 10 years ago as a firefighter for the Air Force. Like you said, I'm from Detroit. I enlisted out of there. I was actually 22 years old. I waited a while to figure out what I wanted to do. Went through basic training, went through the fire academy. For 9 years, I was a firefighter for the Air Force, and then they selected me to be a recruiter and put bright, young, qualified, motivated young men and women into the United States Air Force.
I love it. And that's interesting. Out of all these interviews over the years that I've done, and I have a lot of friends that are firemen. So, man, you're serving, our country, and then you're serving your fellow, airmen and airwomen there in the Air Force. That's a unique role. I've never heard or have interviewed a fireman or fire gal in the Air Force.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Air Force has provided me with many great opportunities to serve both my community, for myself to help others, and I just continue that role, and I've embraced it all the way. It's been a great experience.
Yeah, the uniqueness, and that's what I really try to push with these interviews with recruiters such as yourself, is people think Air Force, it's airplanes, it's this, but there's so many different roles, so many different opportunities. So for anybody out there listening, rattle off, somebody aspiring to get in the military and the armed forces, rattle off some unique jobs that maybe you place people at.
Well, firefighting is certainly one of them. Everybody thinks, oh my gosh, how can I can be a firefighter in the Air Force? Like, how does that work? The United States Air Force has 130 enlisted career fields, all types of opportunities out there, ranging from aircraft maintenance down to pest management, all the way over to services and you name it, law enforcement, fire protection. There's something out there for everybody, regardless of what their interests are. We can certainly find a for everybody.
That's great. All right. So how can people find more information about recruiting themselves and maybe engaging with you and getting some more information on the Air Force?
Absolutely. So the best way to do it is definitely go to airforce.com, and then there's going to be a connect tab on there. Be simple as hitting connect, entering your zip code information, and there you go. It's going to put you in touch with your local recruiter. Regardless of what's going on with COVID, the Air Force is actively putting qualified airmen into the United States Air Force. Don't be fooled and told otherwise.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing you at the track. You know what? I'm going to turn you into a car guy. Again, you said you had to stay on the word for the Major 3. We're going to get you in there. We're going to send it, bro. So next event, we'll have you out. Might even see you here this weekend. You might make a quick little cameo, right?
Sounds good. Possibly. Yep. You know it.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for the United States Air Force. Yeah. Thank you so much for the United States Air Force. Sorry to cut you off there. Staff Sergeant Anthony Guerra.
Thank you all.
Thank you to the United States Air Force for their support of Formula Drift. Our Royal Purple Top 16, Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, official engine oil of Formula Drift. As Ryan said, we quickly expedited top 32. There's Josh Love, the Big Duck Club. It's a cool company, Big Duck Club. There's Jonathan Hurst just chilling in front of Big Haas. Big Haas, the biggest screen here. They're watching the world's largest screen. As Hooman Rahimi and Josh Reynolds are on the line. Hooman Rahimi, new setup for him. Just getting the car more and more dialed every turn and burning every event. There's Derek Madison and his team waiting in the wings. Inertia Garage S14. And there are teams. What do you got, Ryan?
I was just going to say, I'm thinking about, how challenging it has been, coming into this event. I think a lot of people probably don't recognize or realize, unless they were following, is that NASCAR had an event that was running on Sunday that got rain delayed, not just Monday, not just Tuesday, but also Wednesday, which means that driver load-in, which typically occurs on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, had to happen Thursday morning at 6 a.m. So the Pro 2 guys definitely got the brunt of that.
Yeah.
Because they needed to be up and ready pretty much quicker than anybody for practice sessions, along with the pro guys. It affected everybody. So I have to wonder, how much of a role that played. I don't think it played a major role, but it was a lot of scrambling very quick in the morning, early, people up at 4 or 5 in the morning to get here, roll in, get the car set up, ready to go. And usually when we come into an event weekend and we're looking at these heats are going to be set up, drivers kind of know what to expect. They get into their flow. I wonder if there was any disruption there.
Yeah, most definitely. And again, if a lot of these guys are following each other on Instagram. I'm following a lot of the drivers, and just the trek to get out here, man. It was like the Donner Party, man. They were losing. I mean, we saw Rome Charpentier. Yeah, easy for me to say. Rome flipping his car in New Mexico. So it's just been a treacherous season. But now we have not a cloud in the sky, just a few little trickles. But it is a bluebird day, absolutely perfect, ideal scenario for some high-speed drifting. So our first battle is on deck. You saw the faces. Here are the rides. Hooman Rahimi, Josh Reynolds, about to go at it here in top 16, advancing on into the Achilles Tire top 8. Achilles Tire, the official tire of the Pro 2 Championship. All right, and here we go. You can see Hooman got the turbo sticking out of the hood. Josh Reynolds, big old HGK Eurofighter hood. Coming into that first front clip, Hooman Rahimi absolutely zings past it. Into that second outside zone, now entering into the third, the big sweeper, that third outside zone there, dives into the inside. Josh keeps it out. Hooman taking a tighter line, doesn't get out to that fourth outer zone. Nice fluidity through that sweeper, but needed to get deeper. Josh was actually on the proper line, but you want to utilize that lead car as a moving clipping point, Ryan.
Well, we are seeing, some things develop here. This is your number 6 place driver in Hooman Rahimi taking on Josh Reynolds, who's in 16th place right now. And like a rocket ship, Hooman Rahimi gets out of the gate, gets right to outside zone 2, but doesn't fill it, and he doesn't fill outside zone 3. And you can tell that Josh was anticipating that Hooman was going to be deeper into those zones. He was pushing out wide there, so I think this is going to be a knock on Hooman Rahimi in the lead position because of the fact that it looks like he's trying to run away by taking a tighter line here overall. Now, Josh was able to make some adjustments. He wasn't door-to-door, but if Josh is able to come back and lay down a strong lead run that draws a contrast between what Hooman did, he's going to have a good opportunity to move on. And this would be a big upset given the fact that Hooman Rahimi right now is trying to get into the top 5, and Josh Reynolds is in 16th place.
All right, so Josh Reynolds now out front, getting the clean air. And Ryan, I like what you said. Just if he puts down a solid run, if he duplicates essentially his chase run, but now with the clean air, I believe the needle's going to go his way for Josh Reynolds entering into the Great 8. Looks like we got a clean start. Sopa on Aropa sends him off. Here we go. Josh Reynolds initiates, taking out that outside zone. A slow trickle here. Oh, you see a correction there, Ryan. Some wavering. Does not get to that second outside zone. And look at Hooman Rahimi now. He is playing cat and mouse here. You see Reynolds working it all the way out to the outside zone. Definitely want to take a look at the replay for that last outside zone. But Josh, you know, I think he had a better chase run than he did a lead run. You know, didn't get out to that second outside zone there in the power alley. And you saw some corrections from him.
Well, we talked about no competition timeouts, no wrecks, and no one more times. I think it's very possible we may see one here. But he did get a good initiation. Hooman's looking for an opportunity to attack here. But see, Josh also has trouble with that second outside zone. Hooman Rahimi is looking for an area where he can attack, leaving the inside clip. And you can see that flub by Josh. Hooman has to adjust as well. And Hooman does a good job tucking up on the inside here in this final outside zone. You can see a slight little hiccup there from Josh in the lead position. And let's remember, there are only two major decel areas on this course. One of them is right on outside zone number 1. And the other one is basically all of outside zone 3, which is the one right before the final left-hand sweeper. Here's the full run, top to finish here, as we see Josh Reynolds struggle with that center section of the course. So neither driver was really locked in here all the way, and we have to look at some of the mistakes that were being made and do a comparison, lead to chase, chase to lead, and what we would expect coming out of that.
Yep. All right, so waiting for the judge's verdict here. I believe we do have one, tapping it in, writing some notes. So Josh Reynolds waits, Hooman Rahimi. Let's take a side-by-side look from the air. You can see the drone just hovering. We were talking about it earlier during 32. Here's the BC Racing custom coilover instant replay, Ryan.
Yeah, and typically, if you are a fan of Formula Drift, you've been watching these broadcasts, you know that when this shot comes up, it means the judges are looking for that side-by-side comparison to see if there's something that pushes the balance of who they're going to go against in one direction or the other. And I am starting to see some scores come in, and we may very well see our first one more time.
Right out
I can see one score from here, but we'll see. That's just my guess.
Yeah, your educated guess. You're looking in your crystal ball. Right. Ryan, again, I really like the facial hair, bro. It looks good on you.
You being serious or just?
I do. I'm being genuine. I think it looks good on you.
Right on, right on.
All right. Scores are in. Here we go. Which way's it going? Slide them left for Hooman, right for Josh Reynolds.
Oh, I was
Looks
wrong.
like, oh, you were wrong. Oh, there's one more time from Ryan Lontaine, and Eggert says one more time. So
boom.
You were boom, boom, boom. All right, here comes the boom. Oh, there you go.
There
wow.
it is.
Just putting us on blast. We're like casually just kicking it here and just laying down. But there's the facial hair, Ryan. So yeah, you looking good. Lontaine, going over to you. Let's rep out. Let's talk. Let's see what's going on. See our big heads. If my head wasn't any bigger, literally physically, Lontaine, going to you one more time. You and Eggert.
Yeah, thanks for passing it over there, big head.
Thanks,
looking at the track here, they did not do a good job, either one of them. Both lead runs were very poor. The only zone that either one of them really got in was outside zone 1, and that's right at initiation. They ignored outside zone 2, outside zone 3, outside zone 4 in the lead position, and neither driver was really very close to the chase either. So Brian and I both chose one more time. For that reason, there was just no real clear winner.
All right. Right on. Thank you. Appreciate all that you do.
Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're looking great today, by the way.
Yeah, likewise.
Likewise. I don't think you have a big head. It
I have
suits
a
the rest
massive
of you.
head.
It's perfect.
I wear a 7 7/8 like fitted cap.
You're a large man. You're 6'4". I think it suits you.
Okay.
You look great.
I'd
ever
look
feel
like
bad about
Beetlejuice
it.
if I had a small head. All right, next up, here we go. Andy Haley. And look at that. Oh, look at babyface Blake Olson. All right, so Andy Haley, Blake Olson, and getting a text. Oh, look. Pat Gooden likes your facial hair there, Ryan. He just sent me a text. That mustache is something else, he says. So, Pat, I don't know if Pat and Donna approve. They say it's something else. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, not the most flattering use of words, but it means something.
That's a very passive-aggressive compliment.
It looks like something.
Here we go. Andy Haley, look at this. Old school, new school BMW. Andy Haley initiates right into that first outside zone. Throwing it in past that first front flip. Both of them wrapping around the front flip. Now transitioning into that third outside zone to scoop. Ooh, Blake Olson takes all the outside zone and he overcooks it. He gone. As Andy Haley continues on, Blake shuts her down. Unfortunately for Bay Olson Old Bay.
Yeah, he was definitely riding that fine line there, leaving outside zone 3. And what we've seen from Andy Haley this year is that when he's on, the car is very quick and fast, really hard to keep up with. He gets a good jump out of the chicane here. Look at the approach coming down the front straight. Nice little snap here, fills that outside zone, and then he's off like a rocket. Good transition from outside zone 1. And look at 2. He almost fills the entire thing. Now 3, he leaves some to be desired there, and that's where Olsen gets caught up. Olsen looked like he was expecting Haley to go into that outside zone. Now, he does need to be moving close to Haley wherever he goes on course, but you can't really fault him too much for expecting Haley to go out to the part of the course that he is directed to go to. He just made a little bit of a mistake in not being able to adjust to Haley, who did miss that outside zone, and that would be put on Haley as a mistake. But nonetheless, we'll switch things up here. So now we will see Olsen take the lead against Andy Haley.
Man, these back bumpers are really taking a beating. Looks like Sopa and Max knocking off that back bumper as cleaning up the track. And again, Blake Olsen will lead Andy Haley there on the all right, yeah, they're pulling his back bumper off there. Great looking BMWs right here. Again, old school, new school. As Blake Olsen will now lead. Pat says you look like Kelly Slater after a rough weekend.
Does Kelly Slater have rough weekends?
I don't know. I mean, he pretty much lives a life. Yeah. And you like that one. You're stoked on that compliment. I know you like Kelly.
Yeah, I love Kelly.
Hey guys, how's it going? So Ryan, I'm trying to guess. Oh no, you showed me your costume, but you still haven't guessed what I'm going to be tomorrow for Halloween.
You have to give me like a general range of options. Is it comic? Is it scary? Is it zombie?
There's one that's a real. I have 2 costumes. One is a real person, TV show, and the other one is a superhero.
Taking a look at this real quick as we find out what superhero Jared is going to be. What went wrong here with Blake Olsen? I think what happened here is he was eyeing up that outside zone, expecting Haley to go into it.
Wow.
Made a slight miscalculation, not following Haley, even though Haley was on the wrong line there, and goes off course. And that's why we were seeing some bumpers get replaced as we wait for the second half of this battle here between Blake Olsen and Andy Haley.
That's a massive advantage here for Andy Haley as Blake goes off course. Still making sure the track is clear, and we will continue on with the action. And there is Matt Sopa, aka Sopa on the Ropa, is making sure they're good. Lights are on, lights are off. All right. Blake Olsen out front. Andy Haley in chase position. Blake needs to step up right now. He has that big mistake on that chase run. Good transition there from Blake. You see him make a massive correction there into that second outside zone. Now transferring into the third. That Cora works Achilles tire BMW wears. Oh, and Andy goes off. My goodness, guys. I mean,
that officially is the hardest part of the course now, right?
Like,
you can't have that happen like 4 or 5 times.
No.
And, if you're Andy Haley's spotter before this run, you're saying, look, he incompleted, just get through this run. And especially being in the chase position, the cards are in your hand here. And you can see Olsen out front still making some adjustments, trying to get settled in the car. Haley, as he comes up on the inside, it looks like he gets lost in the smoke line, and then we see him outside of our shot for a second going off course, and that's going to be an incomplete. Here it is. We're going to see both cars in frame here as he transitions to outside zone 3. He's right in the smoke line, pushes out too deep, goes off course, and then Olsen is left to finish the run unabated. Here it is from the drone overhead. You can see Olsen does a better job on outside zone 2. He gets right to the edge there. As he gets into 3, he's going to fill it about halfway through, and look at Haley lock up the fronts right before outside zone 3 and through it. So he was coming in with a lot of momentum there. We know his car's fast, but he was just not able to see where he was on the course, and presumably now this is going to go to a comparison of the lead runs.
Okay.
So who had the better lead run? If you're watching at home,
chase.
You've got 2 drivers in the chase position that have incomplete. So judge for yourself at home. Who's got the better of the leads here? Because that's going to be the driver that wins, or if it's close enough, maybe one more time.
Blake had a really good initiation. Look at that snap past that. They both kind of have a straighter approach towards the second outside zone. And Ryan, you're talking about Andy kind of coming off of that third outside zone.
Maybe the difference.
Look at that. Look at that smoke trail that Blake's. I mean, both of them are kicking it off. Really heavy. Massive angle there from Blake coming to that final outside zone across the finish line. Andy was right there. I think that third outside zone might be the true indicator. These things sound like absolute weapons. They're just across the track, and you can hear them definitely echoing through Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I think that third outside zone will definitely play a factor. Is it enough? Was there anything in there besides the third outside zone that you saw like a distinct point of difference between both drivers?
I thought Blake initiated a little bit earlier on the first outside zone. I think he had a little bit more angle. I like where Andy put the car, but I think Blake might have an advantage here slightly, as Chris Ewell says one more time, as does Lantain, and here we are, second battle. We're already going 2 one more times, buddy.
Well, we had one.
Oh, we did.
Which American judge was
Eggert.
that?
That's Brian.
Eggert, okay.
Yep.
So
all right, so another one more time.
The fastest top 32 pro
the slowest top 16.
The slowest start.
Yeah. I blame it on Ryan's facial hair. That's what's going on. You used to have the. I mean, you've always had the little lip fuzz, but not to this degree.
Yeah, no, I got rid of that maybe like 6-8 months ago. I haven't really rocked that.
Yeah.
But it comes back automatically on.
Yeah. You kind of look like a narc. You a narc, bro? I think Ryan's a rent-a-cop on the weekends. Here we go. Austin Mata, Mike Power, Shakopee, Minnesota. Who is that? Are we going back? Oh, we're going back. Ah, it's all right. No big deal. That would have naturally been the next battle, but we're going back to the one more time of Human Rahimi. More human than human. It's human nature. All right, as Josh Reynolds in that BMW. Formula Drift Pro rookie, Human Rahimi. Seen him events LS Fest just a little over a month ago. Saw him out there, him and Jonathan Hurst. These guys have teamed up for the 2020 season. And it looks like we are ready to send. You see the lights on in between the two vehicles, and they're off. I mean, it's go time. Send it, fellas. Here we go, Human Rahimi. No cones were hit. See this initiation. Bango. Outside zone, now past that front clip. Human Rahimi, bit of a correction there. Reynolds taking a shallower line now into that third outside zone. Both of them filling it up. Human Rahimi flirting with the edge of the car. Oh, what a correction there from Human Rahimi. You see him taking a shallower line. Did throw Josh Reynolds off, so I believe Human will be at fault for that correction. You saw Josh kind of taking that shallower line, following him, but with Human straightening out, Josh had nowhere to go.
Yeah, he just really wasn't full throttle through an area where there is no decel outside of outside zone 3. Let's take a look at it from the beginning here. Decent start by both drivers, maintaining relative proximity there. And as we transition to outside zone 3, he's going to fill it about a quarter of the way and then has trouble getting into the final outside zone. He takes him a midline after that and then comes down on the inside. Looks like he was having some trouble really putting the power down. Yeah. Outside zone 2, not bad. Reynolds staying pretty good here, and then right there you can see the smoke line stops. He's not really able to pick it back up. Reynolds doesn't really have anywhere to go, so that's not going to be on him. That'll be a mistake for Rahimi, and it's just going to be a matter of what kind of mistake is it? Is it enough to give an incomplete?
I said that too. You judges can leave. Ryan and I got this.
What was good?
You called it as I saw Lantain go to grab his headset because he was going to implement his real judgy talk.
His wisdom.
There. His wisdom. He's going to drop some Canadian knowledge on us. You know, Canadians invented the odometer. Is that correct? All right, here we go. Josh Reynolds. Let's see how his odometer goes up. Josh Reynolds past that front clip. Human Rahimi. Oh, just say not giving him an inch as he takes that shallower line, initiates in that third outside zone. Josh Reynolds looks like all signs saying Josh as he continues on through the course. Woo-hoo, he was flirting with the dirt out there, man.
Yeah, we had a protest come in after 32 about a driver potentially going 3 wheels off. It was
Give me names, Ryan.
It was an excellent spot, actually, by their spotter. It was a great job spotting what they saw. It quite 3 off, and it was very much in the cloud. But we know that that section of the course right near the finish line is something that we should be watching for and really paying attention. But in this run, Rahimi just really doesn't get it all together in the chase run and allows Reynolds to kind of run away with it. You can see Reynolds has a little bit of a mistake there where he makes an adjustment so he doesn't go off course. But coming through this section here, 2 to 3, not bad. And that's where that decel zone is. He's allowed to do that there. He's back on throttle. But right here, he's like, oh my gosh, here I go. Let me get off. And then he steps back on it, repositions the car. And luckily, Rahimi was not in proximity there, so there was no real consequence for Human. But let's take a look at it, start to finish one more time, Jared. Is this enough here for Josh Reynolds to get the win against Human Rahimi?
Nick Swan says you look like you just got out of jail. doing hard time, huh, Ryan?
I knew coming into this there was going to be so much ball breaking, but that's fine.
Well, guy.
Oh, but I'm fine with it.
I know. I'm just saying.
It's love. It's love.
I'm saying your
it's love.
phrase. Your phrase was a little expletive.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. I mean, you're my boss, so it's all good. All right, slide him left for Human Rahimi or right for Josh Reynolds, and there you go. Josh Reynolds gets the victory. We actually have some advancement here in our Link Engine Management Pro 2 competition, and unfortunately for Human Rahimi, had that mistake there, throwing Josh off, and then in that chase position, just Josh put the car in all the right places. So Josh Reynolds will advance on into the Great 8, the Achilles Tire Top 8, the official Tire Pro 2 Championship, as we have one victor in the Royal Purple Top 16. All right, looks like Mata and Power, I believe, are on the line. That's what I'm seeing here. I could see him just beyond. It is? Okay, just to clarify, just to make sure. Shakopee, Minnesota, Port Jeff Station, New York, Mike Power. You know, MA Motorsports has been working on Mike Power's vehicle, getting it dialed. B-Dub, Brian Wilkerson in the building. And we are sending cars. Mata will lead. Austin out front. Mike Power initiates into that first outside zone. Oh, look at that. Mike tracking him down, but Mata absolutely rocketing away from Power. Down that outside zone, feeling all of that bank. Oh, man. Oh, and he goes off course. Wow, Ryan, and that's what you're talking about, towards, not set it and forget it, man. You really got to dial it in and bring it in. And he just overcooks it and goes off course, unfortunately, for Austin.
Yeah, thinking about the momentum coming through the power alley, I thought he was really getting close to being too quick through that section to be able to hold back on outside zone 3. It actually happened later than I thought it would, but he was flying through the power alley, and here he's super on throttle here. He gets into the zone, but he swings out a bit too wide, and then just literally maybe half a car before the final stopping point, the finish line, he goes off course on his lead run. So now he's at a big deficit here. This is definitely a tough break for him to get it incomplete on the lead run because that does give an advantage out front.
Oh, there it is, the Tundra. I have a Tundra myself, actually, but want to thank Toyota for loaning us the brand new 2021 Tundra Nightshade, both in Tacoma and the Tundra. The 2021 Tundra Nightshade assembled right here in Texas at Toyota Motor Manufacturing, San Antonio. Available at 10,200 pounds of towing capacity. Tundra's 346 cubic inch I-Force 5.7 V8 produces 381 horsepower and 401 foot-pounds of torque. As Ryan, great looking truck. And another buddy says, Ryan, again, keep him coming. Sage looks like a villain from Breaking Bad.
Into that one.
Yeah.
Into that one.
It's time to cook.
Yeah.
It's time to cook. I do the knocking, right? or you look like a recently retired high school principal.
I am the one that knocks.
All right, here we go. Keep those coming in. What does Ryan say look like? Mike Power initiates as Mata. Remember, he went off course. He's going to need to step up. Mike Power with that clean air. Good transition. Look at this. Austin super aggressive to the side. Remember, Austin currently third in points. Are we going to see some shaking up as Power brings it on across the finish line? Mike Power, I believe, is going to have the victory. What do you say, Mr. Sage?
Well, it was a beautiful example from Austin Mata of the chase that we want to see. And had he not made that mistake in run number 1, it would have been a pretty simple win here for him. Power, though, does not relent. He stays in it and puts on a great lead run. Gets into that second outside zone with about a tire, fills that third. This allows Mata to attack. Here it is coming through the power alley here. You can see Mata's eyeing it up. He gets into the smoke line, tucks up on the inside, and stays super tight here through the remainder of the course. But as we know, it's going to come down to that first run because he needed to overcome an incomplete, and that just did not happen here. Power did enough in his lead run to avoid that, and he also looked great in his lead run.
Yeah.
Mata, on the other hand, solid chase, but the lead run was just pushing a little bit too hard.
Yeah, yeah. And Mike looks really confident here in Texas. You know, previously in Seattle, and then of course in St. Louis, just getting the car dialed. You know, a Pro 2 rookie, a rookie in Formula Drift competition, and like Lantain was saying in top 32, a lot of nerves. You know, when he said, you know, everybody's putting the car in the right place in practice, and then when push comes to shove, they don't shove it all the way to the outside zone. But Power looks like he's dialed. So the winner of this battle will go against that of either Chase Schmidt or Daniel Stuck. You look like an undercover cop extra from the movie Point Break. Chris Stewart from Grid Life says, I like the action movie villain look. Yep, yep. So again, hashtag Ryan Sage look. What is Ryan's look right now? Hashtag Ryan Sage look, and go ahead and tag away. All right, as we wait for the verdict here, believe the needle's going to go to Power's way. And remember, Mata Austin was third in points. Don't fully quote me on that one. Still waiting. Got our and it looks like here we go. Slide him left for Austin, right for Mike Power. And there we go. Chris Ewell says Mike Power. Ryan Lantain, the Canadian, says Mike Power. And the other American judge, Brian Eggert from RVA, Richmond, Virginia. It is unanimous. Mike Power gets the win and advances on. AJ Anderson with the real quips down here. Drift hard with the vengeance, says Chris Stewart. Here we go. Let's go back to this one more time battle as Power advances on into his, I believe it's his first grade 8 experience here, as Haitley and Olsen are on the start line. Matt Sopa looks like he's going to fight somebody waiting there on the line. See Austin in the back there, unfortunately parking it for the weekend. We'll see him at the final round of the round 4 at Irwindale, the House of Drift. And right now that is scheduled to have no general fans or public attendance. Oh, it is. We are at what? Wait. Okay. All right. Here we'll address that in a moment. Here we go. Andy Haitley, Blake Olsen. Oh, Andy Haitley, big. No, that's not drifting, my friend. Unfortunately for him. And Blake does not need to drift because Andy shut it down, but unfortunately, Haitley did shut it down. So that'll be a massive advantage there for Blake Olsen. Ryan, right before we went, I said that Irwindale won't have fans or general public, but you did say it will. Can you clarify?
Yeah. What I meant to say is we are selling tickets right now because there's a
possibility.
There's a potentiality that they're going to allow us to have 25% occupancy in there. Honestly, I'm not sure. Okay. But they're going to let us know come basically 1st of November, so that's like pretty much this weekend.
Okay, they're going to let us know. We're getting the bat phone. We're getting the call right now. No, joking. So yeah. So if you heard that, Ryan says are selling tickets, potentiality of having 25% occupancy at the House of Drift. And if you can't make it or feel like you want to stay home, of course we're going to be streaming it, baby. Because again, Irwindale. What weekend is that, Ryan? Is it? It's going to be. What weekend is Irwindale at? 21st, 22nd. That's right. Here we go. All right, back at it again. Blake Olsen. This is that Coilworks BMW transitions through that sweeper. Let's see if Blake Olsen can keep it keep it sideways. Rubber meets the road and brings in that final sweeper. Looks like Blake Olson from Las Vegas will get the win. Unfortunately for Andy Haley, that mistake there on that first run was over before it even began.
Well, you know, it's interesting there. We've seen this from Haley before where he drives straight in competition, and it has been known to us after the fact that it was a mechanical. In this case, he didn't call a competition timeout, went right back to the line, and was able to put down his chase run. So I have to wonder if did the gear pop out, what happened there that forced him not to be able to drift in his lead run. Here he is in his chase run. Looks much better this time around, but Blake is looking stronger now. Notice he gets out to outside zone 2 and 3. He brakes or he slows or he decels in that right area of outside zone 3 and then picks up the throttle, takes a measured approach to outside zone 4, makes sure not to get off course and jeopardize the big advantage that he has. And you can see right here, watch right, he's gonna lift off the throttle for a second and then get back on the throttle so he doesn't risk going off course. And we're still seeing some drivers trying to find that proper balance from outside zone 3 to 4.
Yeah.
And there's a couple tricky parts. And I know that a lot of the pro drivers have been commenting that a lot of times they're really focused on what the lead driver's doing. And if that puts them in a tough position after they exit outside zone 3, it's almost too late if they're too deep in that section of the course. So they really have to use muscle memory if they get lost in the smoke about where to drive and to enter into outside zone 4 in the proper location with enough momentum to maintain throttle through the finish line.
Yeah, and those Achilles tires are probably some of the smokiest on track. So everybody in Pro 2 is running Achilles tires, so it just contributes to the thickness of that smoke signal, and as you say, getting lost in the smoke. But we are seeing, again, once you're offline, that second outside zone, and then bring it into 3, and you can see, you know, you can't just throw it down and drop the hammer, because you can see, as we saw Austin going off course there on his battle. And Andy Haley waits, as does Blake Olson. And here we go. Slide him left for Andy Haley, right for Blake Olson. And there you go. Blake Olson gets the win, and he moves on. He'll be going against Josh Reynolds in the Grade 8. The Achilles tire, official tire of Pro 2 Championship Grade 8.
Yeah, after a bit of a slow start here with those one more times, we're starting to see the left-hand side of the bracket fill out here, Jared, and you can see that we're going to have some great battles come to that Grade 8, but we are almost on our way to the right-hand side of the bracket where we've got 3 out of the top 5 guys ready to roll and try to hang on to those championship points.
All right, Chase Schmidt, Daniel Stuke, here we go. Mr. Schmidt works on, you can see from Snoqualmie, Washington, another driver in pro, works on Dylan Hughes' team as well. It's Daniel from Minnesota. He's ready to throw down that M-Spec performance. S15. Chase Schmidt, definitely a fierce competitive driver. Let's see how he throws down against Mr. Stuke. Chase Schmidt out of the start, no cones hit, clean start. Schmidt swings it right in front of Stuke, taking that shallower line, but really gaining some ground there. Bigger angle from Stuke. Now through that third outside zone. You can see Stuke gaining some ground. Look at Chase pouring some more angle at it. That was really well done. Good composure there by both drivers. Really liked Chase Schmidt's lead run. Watch him on that front clip.
Yeah, and Schmidt, remember, is in 5th place right now. Stuke is down near the bottom of the leaderboard. This would be a huge upset if Stuke was able to take him out. But Schmidt, remember, has looked really solid. See, big angle there from Stuke in the chase position, not wanting to hit Schmidt, but it does, he pays a price for it. He loses ground on the proximity, and he goes on the wrong line. Meanwhile, out front, Schmidt is really looking solid. Look at the smoke line. You can totally tell when drivers are lifting. He's not lifting at all there. The sun reflection there really gives you a good insight to how they're maintaining throttle control through that area of the course, and he looked like he had that dialed and on point.
All right, let's see. Stuke out front getting the clean air as the smoke lingers out there on that outside zone. A slight breeze clearing out the smoke so we get good vision. judges utilizing the big screen as well as the naked eye. Massive angle from him, Chase Schmidt. Getting there on that back bump, you can see a little bit of lack of angle there to gain that proximity. Oh, and Chase takes a tighter line as Stuke keeps it consistent all the way through. Can he keep it on the road? You can see a lot of them are actually throwing more angle at the car to keep it on the track.
Yeah, this course has been no easy task for any of the drivers that we've seen so far. It's a challenge, I think, a lot in large part because it's full throttle and full commitment all the way, and then trying to figure out the proper line and making the adjustments when you're in the chase position. Here you can see Stuke out front, rolls into that outside zone 3, and as we see that Schmidt is on that tighter line in the chase position. He has good proximity there. He didn't fall back too far. But let's see how he does through the power alley. Stuke gets a little bit short on outside zone 2. Schmidt makes an adjustment, but on his transition, he completely blows outside zone 3, and that puts him on a tighter line through the remainder of the course. So that'll be the hard part for the judges. Let's see what happens as we get a close-up here. Watch, he's gonna transition right here, and he's gonna come in on a tighter line. Now Stuke out front is gonna pull a big group of e-brake right through outside zone 3 and fill that zone, which he's allowed to do, but Schmidt was not able to get out there with him, unfortunately, and he maintained that shallower line through the final remainder of the course.
All right, waiting for the verdict here. The judges analyzing and looking over Ryan Lontaine's shoulder. Really analyzing his notes, analyzing the runs. Joyce there, our Victor finish line, telling you who gets the win, telling the drivers down there. Two great looking cars. Again, Daniel and the M-Spec Performance S15, Chase Schmidt in the E36. All right, looks like Lontaine tapping in. See if we got a winner here. We going one more time. We've already seen a couple of them. This is if we get a victor here, we'll be officially halfway through our Royal Purple Top 16. And here we go. Slide him left for Schmidt, right for Stuke. One more time from Chris Yule. Lontaine says Chase Schmidt, and Brian Eggert says one more time. When in doubt, OMT. Brian?
Yeah, I kind of see it. I mean, Schmidt really didn't back up his lead run with something that was going to give him the clear victory there. It was enough for Lantain, and I'm sure he's got a good defense, of that position. And he'd probably say something like, the other guys, had enough, and wasn't good enough for me. The other guys
defend himself right now.
The other guys want to see it go again, but I thought a lot of so-and-so. So, we will see it one more time, but now it's going to be Jonathan Hurst and Joe Lynn. And no major spoilers this event just yet, Jared, but we still have a long way to go, and the championship contenders will still have to try to hold their positioning as we get through FD Texas.
Jonathan Hurst there from Paducah, Kentucky, that G37. Joe Lynn from Hong Kong in the BMW E36. We saw him earlier today in competition, and Joe Lynn taking out Novak. Novak taking himself out, eventually getting the win. These are 2021 Tundra and Tacoma cleaning up the track. And let's see what we got here. Jonathan Hurst. Cash Racing G37. Lynn with the BMW. And clean start. What do we got? Hurst and Lynn. Past that front clip. Keeping it real tight there. Lynn needs to gain some ground. Can he get that proximity back? As Hurst, and Lynn almost looked like, he was almost on his way off course. And there he goes.
I think it was past the finish line, though.
Yeah. Man, real tricky. Like you said, very unassuming. Lynn and Hurst.
Well, Jonathan Hurst sitting in 4th place right now. Very important battle for him. Joe Lynn coming off that win against Novak. Let's see how things start off. Pretty decent job there by Hurst. Gets to the edge of outside zone 2, fills outside zone 3. Lynn was looking a little bit unsettled. Now let's see as we move in front of the smoke line what will happen to Lynn. You can see he has a couple mistakes in the chase position. He's losing some ground to Hurst here, going into that outside zone 3, which he does not fill. And then as he's driving through the smoke line, he's going to come up a little bit on the inside and then push a bit wide. And actually it was right before the finish line. So the judges may deem that an incomplete. A white line painted on the ground. There's a cone there. And it looked like he started going off the course prior to that. So
yeah. And we could see the Toyota Tacoma over there, that Nightshade fixing the course. Somebody said Orlando Bloom called and they want their mustache back. All right, let's take a look at the bracket. This is how it's shaping up right now because we still have that OMT, but we have 3 drivers already in the grade 8. So Josh Reynolds, Blake Olson, Mike Power, they're in it. Waiting for the victor of Schmidt and Daniel Stuke. And of course we are halfway through the Hurst-Lynn battle. We'll see Kelsey Rawlings and Micah Diaz for the first time this weekend. Josh Love, second in points, going against Derek Madison. And our points leader, Dmitry Brutsky, could see Josh Love in the grade 8, pending if he takes out Steve Misko. Brutsky really dominant there in Seattle. Never settle. That's what he's trying to do. Not settling. Full domination, bro. Dude, you got a dart in your neck. As Lynn will lead and Hurst giving chase. Lynn it to win it. There we go, Lynn, taking out that outside zone, past that front clip. Look at Hurst, winding it up, getting them going there. Let's see how the transition goes down. Really well done by both drivers. Hurst, look at that, still got some power on deck. That Cash Racing G37, pumping it up from Paducah.
Yeah, I thought Hurst's approach here was really awesome and very sophisticated. If you weren't paying attention, you'll see as he comes into chasing Lynn, he's going to tuck up on the inside, but still get to outside zone 1. Then he's going to cut back across, and he's still going to be able to stay on that back bumper while maintaining proximity and getting out to the line. This is probably the first time that we've seen a driver do it that cleanly. And a really tough thing to do as a driver, but he was able to do it all the way around the course. Watch how as he transitions back around. He takes off for a second, gets up on the inside, and then that allows him to stay on the inside, but deep in outside zones 2 and 3. So this is a great job by Jonathan Hurst here. We've really seen him come into his own this season and really look at like a pro-level style type driver, and that has resulted in one of the better chase runs that we've seen in the top 16 so far. So phenomenal job by him. He was able to make the right adjustments as Lynn out front allowed that to happen by giving him a lead run that you could actually do that with, but Hurst really did take advantage of it.
Yeah, I really like the way Hurst is driving. Him and Human Rahimi from the same area. Nashville is where Human's from, and then Paducah, Kentucky. That's where Jonathan Hurst is at. And them teaming up this season, I think, has been really smart. You know, they run the same engine, so parts are interchangeable. You know, a Z and a G37, just a few suspension bits, but overall sharing a lot of similar parts. All right, so waiting for the verdict here. If we get a win, we're officially more than halfway through our top 16. All right, waiting on the judges' verdict here. Here's a little Aim High Air Force trivia. As go into the description of the YouTube stream and answer the Air Force Aim High trivia. There it is. Who was the first Chief Master Sergeant of the United States Air Force? Was it Chief Master Sergeant James McCoy, Gerald Murray, Paul Airy, or Arthur Andrews? Again, you can find the Aim High trivia in the description of the YouTube. All right, here we go. Slide him left for Hurst, right for Joe Lynn. And there's a one more time from Chris Yule. Lontaine says Hurst, and so does Brian Eggert. Jonathan Hurst getting the win. Again, 2-1. And there we go. So now we are halfway through our Royal Purple top 16. All right, going back to Schmidt and Stuke. Schmidt-Stuke. And back to the one more time there. See him on the start line. Let's see if they can clean it up, Ryan. See what kind of battle we're going to get. So far, a few one more times. We got three so far.
Yeah, 3 one more times. No competition timeout. So it looks like we're holding together pretty good.
All right, here we go. Initiating Chase Schmidt. Big angle there from Schmidt. Daniel tracking him down through that power alley into that third outside zone. See Chase dipping that back right tire a little deeper there. Oh, and Daniel, did he go off? Gets lost in that smoke. A lot of the drivers, I saw, Ryan Turk say, hey, really excited about the course, really excited about the setup, but stay out of the smoke trail.
Yeah, and we see this tendency starting to happen quite regularly if a driver doesn't get that transition right from 2 to 3. Let's take a look at Stuke in the chase position because that's what we're going to be looking at the most. Big angle there, transition super early, kind of misses outside zone 3. Now he's stuck on a line that's pushing out super wide, out past the, or at the beginning of outside zone 4. Let's take a look at it again. You can see transition's a bit early. Now he's on this tighter line, and as he tries to gain proximity, the car wants to move out deeper, and he goes off course there. He does make his way back on, so he may have not gotten all 4 tires off, but let's take a look and see if we can see it from the drone, how severe it was. Here's that transition once again. And right about here, the smoke is going to start bubbling up. He gets close, and he's just not able to hold pace, and he goes off course. So that'll be a big mistake there for Daniel Stuke, and we'll see how things change around if they do on the second half, as now he will go to the lead position against Chase Schmidt.
Man, the bumper graveyard accumulated another one down there. A lot of bumpers flying off there in that big sweeper, the outside zone 3 to 4. Let's see Blake Olson in the back there, that Coro Works BMW. Is that Shimron back there? All right, we are clear to send. Course is clear. Course is hot and about to get hotter. Here we go. All right, the M-Spec S15, Daniel Stuke will lead Chase Schmidt. Bonsai wheels go round. Daniel is barely tapping over that first outside zone. Big angle there from Stuke. Let's see how Chase, you can see him getting to the side. Backs off just a little bit as Stuke progresses all the way through. Chase, surprised he caught him there at the end, Ryan, on that third outside zone.
Yeah, that's definitely much more akin to the type of battle that we want to see.
Yeah.
And let's take a look here with Stuke out front.
Doink.
Gets a little tire drop there on the first outside zone, picks up the throttle to inside clip. Let's see what Schmidt does. Schmidt follows him out. He does not fill that outside zone 2 or 3 completely, but Schmidt's doing a good job adjusting here. He's going to try to take this last little section of the course as we go back to inside clip 1, where you can see Schmidt just taps it briefly there. Now coming through the smoke line. He dives in for a second. Stuke is trying to regain his composure. He wants to fill this final outside zone, but Schmidt's not letting him get away, and he makes a nice final impression there to the judges through the finish line. Here it is from outside zone 1 and the drone. You can see that little tap of the inside clip. Now, this aggressive driving here by Schmidt may pay results for him in the end at the end of the day, because it's going to make a nice exclamation point and a good distinct difference between what Stuke did in his chase run, where he kind of went off course and was not able to regain any kind of presence through the finish line or to the finish line.
Yeah, yep. All right, scores are in. Let's slide them left for Schmidt, right for Daniel. It looks like Chris says Chase Schmidt, as does Lontaine, and Brian Eggert does as well. So Chase Schmidt gets the win and advances on into the grade 8. He's going to be going against Mike Power, which should be a really good battle. Mike Power and Chase Schmidt. Josh Reynolds versus Blake Olson. And Jonathan Hurst is going against the winner of our next battle, Kelsey Rawlings and Mr. Micah Diaz. See Kelsey there, warming him up. Ryan, was it really that cold, like leading up to today? I saw the videos, man. Everybody's freezing out here.
Oh yeah, you weren't here this morning?
I wasn't here, no.
Oh, this morning, yeah, my windows were frozen.
Oh, word?
Yeah, so it was in the 30s.
Wow.
Yesterday was colder. It was really nasty on Monday, Tuesday when our team was trying to load in. So yeah, this was a rough week, man.
Yeah.
This whole this whole thing's been crazy.
What, 2020, you mean?
Yeah, just keeps magnifying.
Yep. Just emulsifying. Here is our current standings. All right, so as you can see, Kelsey Rawlings currently sitting 7th. She's in contention of earning her pro license. Micah Diaz, you know, a lot of hype around Micah before coming into Pro 2 competition. He has quite a growing following there on the YouTubes. And Kelsey Rawlings, you can see right there, horsepower fairly equally matched. Kelsey Rawlings, Ford-powered S chassis. Micah Diaz, LS-powered BMW. No, it goes out to Adams track all the time.
Yeah.
Adams Raceway in Riverside.
People that are interested, Micah Diaz has a Pro 2 profile on our social media channels. Just came out this past week, actually.
Right
so
on.
Check it out.
Cool. Here we go. Kelsey Rawlings out front. Micah Diaz in the chase position. Micah Diaz tempering the flame, now throwing it down. And Kelsey Rawlings initiates back. Some shimmying into that second outside zone. Very interesting there, approach from Kelsey Rawlings. I believe that threw off Micah Diaz a little bit there. He definitely was getting close, but then Kelsey, you saw, make a little bobble, a little correction past that front clip into that second outside zone. Let's take a look at it again. Ryan, walk us through.
Well, I think, you know, as a chase driver, you want to make sure you don't get overly aggressive and put yourself in a position where you have to back off and then make a mistake, but you want to push enough that you can maintain proximity. Right here, Diaz is really pushing hard, and he falls off a little bit. He misses his outside zone 2, or he doesn't follow Kelsey out to outside zone 2. She misses it as well. Now, as we get into the final section of the course, you can see right here, this is where that happened.
Yeah.
You see both drivers. It was a little bit more extreme from Diaz. He could have gone out a little bit deeper with Kelsey had he put himself in a position better from inside clip 1. But here he's going to make much more of an impression through this final section, close the door a little bit, not get all the way bumper to bumper, but enough to gain proximity there towards the end. So I think this lead run is going to be super important for Micah Diaz, see if he can get a point of difference there between Kelsey and himself in the lead position to figure out who's going to take this battle.
Right on. All right, while we clean up the track, we are waiting for Micah Diaz and Kelsey Rawlings. All right. All right, we are clear to send. Course is clear. He's like a tech startup guy. Here we go. Micah Diaz out front. Kelsey Rawlings in the chase position. Micah holds fast. Now transitions past that front clip. Micah Diaz, good execution here. Kelsey Rawlings quite a bit back. Some swinging into that third outside zone. Hits it and quits it. Kelsey, whoa, buddy. Kelsey looks like man. I mean, you can really understand them getting lost in the smoke. It's crazy.
Well, regardless of what happened to Kelsey there, this was the lead run that Micah Diaz needed to make a point of difference here in comparison. Let's take a look at it from initiation. He kind of has a slight hesitation, but after that, he gets back on it. He's maintaining good throttle control. And notice, out to outside zone 2, fluid transition to outside zone 3, and then continues to stay on the throttle to outside zone 4. Now we're winding back to the power alley. Let's watch and take our eyes, or put our eyes on Kelsey here, see what happens. She starts on that mid-line. It's been happening to a lot of people, and then starts moving out wide, and by that time does not have enough course to work with her on that line. It looks like she pushes way off course and does not make it back on. Meanwhile, Diaz is out front, doing a pretty good job in the lead position, fulfilling most of the obligations that the lead driver has. And with that mistake from Kelsey, obviously that is going to be the nail in the coffin. If that didn't happen, then we'd have a much more tighter battle.
Yep, so Micah Diaz gets Chris Yulesbo, as does Lantain gives it to him, and Eggert. So Micah Diaz hold fast moves on. Unfortunately for Kelsey Rawlings, she is knocked out. All right, let's learn some more about the man that just advanced on into the Great 8, Micah Diaz. Another driver coming all the way from the West Coast. Definitely a fan favorite. Hold fast and say hello to the BMW and the pilot, Micah Diaz.
My name is Micah Diaz. I'm from Riverside, California, and I drive an E46 chassis. My style is probably a little bit more aggressive, a little more angle. This track doesn't really allow it here at St. Louis, but I'd like to throw a lot more throttle, a lot more angle at the car, depending on what course we're at. Being here at Formula Drift is really just a dream come true. I've been trying to get here for probably about 4 years in competition, so to finally be here means a lot to me and the team and everyone who supported me. The future of the sport, I hope, goes just mainstream. I hope it gets huge. I hope we can all just, you know, make a living driving all the time. The dream.
Definitely, I hope we can make this a career.
I agree with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that Tiger? Right? Doesn't it look like Eggert? Eggert. Yeah, it looks like Sammy Tiger, remember? Remember Sammy Tiger? I saw him a couple years ago as these guys eat some beaver buddies over here. Bucky's massive gas station across the street. Feeling the love, Josh Love. All right. He's going against Derek Madison from St. Louis, Missouri. And this should be a fun one to watch. Josh Love, we saw him on the box a couple times already, so can he do it again? Currently second in points. Derek Madison's trying to get into his way. It's going to be a heartbreaker for Josh Love. He's taken out here. Pulling all the way through that power alley. Man, living up to the name, the power alley, Ryan. Into that third outside zone. That E36 powering all the way through. That last outside zone actually came off it a little bit there as he crossed the finish line.
Really interesting approach here from Madison in the chase position on outside zone 1. Let's take a look at it again. He comes off the line. He's trying to eye up the approach that Love is taking. He gets behind, and then he transitions way before or right at that third standing cone. It doesn't put him in a totally bad position, but he loses a lot of ground here to Josh Love. And we know from Josh's performance in the first 2 rounds of this series, he is not one to take lightly. It's one of the reasons why he is currently tied for the lead in terms of points with Dimitri Bruschi. He's very consistent out front. Give him some open air, and he's going to run away with it, but also fill all of the lead drivers' goals and criteria, and he does just that. So Madison will have his work cut out for him here on run number 2 as they will switch things up, and Josh Love goes to the chase position. Madison goes to the lead.
All right, let's see what we got here as Madison. Track is clear. Madison out front. Love in the chase position. St. Louis and Colorado, what do we got? The winner of this battle going against either Brudski, could see our 1 and 2 in grade 8, or Misko. Oh, look at that. Madison, good and strong this year. You can see Love on the opposite side of the track, does not get out to the, oh, and Love going off the course, gets too close for comfort, and it looks like Derek Madison could have the victory as long as he keeps it sideways, and he does. Ryan, a major mistake there by Love, but it seemed like right from jump, watch how Josh was on the opposite side of the track. He almost went off course early on, right before that front clip, and then definitely solidifies it there in the third.
Well, at first pass, it looks like he misjudged where Madison was going to be going into outside zone 3. Let's take a look at it here. There's 2. Now, Josh is going to come up tight here, and as Madison transitions, they're going to touch bumpers. And Love should not have been in that position.
No.
He should have been a little bit further behind and on the inside to take advantage of getting closer to him, but still filling that zone. He approached it from the rear position. It doesn't look like he gave Madison an opportunity to transition where he wanted to, but it didn't have an effect on Madison. It had an effect on Love when they made contact there. So it looks like at first pass, this is going to be a fault of Josh Love, and this may be a very marquee moment in this championship race.
All right, slide him left for Love or right for Derek Madison. I believe you know the results, so here we go. And it looks like Derek Madison gets the win and takes out Josh Love who is in contention for a championship. So Derek Madison from St. Louis moves on. One more battle in the Royal Purple Top 16. Then we enter into the Achilles Tire Top 8. Achilles Tire, the official tire Pro 2 Championship, and Royal Purple, the official synthetic engine oil of Formula Drift.
Well, we still have Dimitri Bruschi coming up, but that is a huge favor paid to him on behalf of Derek Madison, who's able to take out Josh Love, or Josh Love taking himself out there, but Derek Madison doing enough driving to force that air on Josh Love. And now Madison is going to have to potentially face Bruschi, who's up next, as he's going to be taking on Steve Misko.
And there's Bruschi. All right, right before this battle, let's learn more about our current points leader. It is Dimitri Bruschi.
Hi, my name is Dimitri Bruschi. I'm from Western Massachusetts and I drive BMW E46 SR Sport. Yeah, when I saw Formula Drift on TV and then first time in person in 2017 in Canada, I thought I really want to be part of it and I wish I can drive it one day. So in 2018, I bought the Z4 from Mike and competed in Pro AM Series, and I got second East End Drift. And I got my Pro 2 license, and last year I was competing in Pro 2. So it's this year with the new car and with the teammate, Brian Wadman, team never settled. And here we are. If I do good, probably just stay in Pro 2 and keep dominating Pro 2. That's my goal for now, at least.
Strong.
You like that?
Yeah, that approach, you know, wanting to dominate Pro 2 and stay in it and continue to develop his skill is a very healthy way to approach, I think, your career as you try to march up to get to the Pro Series. And Bruschi has been one of, if not the standout driver of this year in the variable conditions that we've had, right? He made that very clear in Seattle, which for the Pro 2 guys was basically wet the entire day for them. But he showed a lot of heart, a lot of grit, and he did a great job there.
Yeah, and he's got a former champion in his back pocket of Michael Essa. Here we go. Never settle. We'll see if he can settle his nerves. Really good execution by Bruschi. Look at just that angle compared to Misko. Oh, and Steve looks like he almost got to the side of that BMW. Now he's taking a shallower line as Dimitri powers it all the way through the finish line, Ryan.
Well, Misko had a good idea there. Let me see if I can get into the pocket with big angle and stay close to Dimitri Bruschi. But like we see a lot of times, he overcompensated and had to fall back. Now, Bruschi, look at this approach here. Quick snap into initiation, and he stays on throttle through outside zone 1, through inside clip 1, and in outside zone 2. I mean, picture perfect here in terms of the lead driver responsibilities. Now, that's where you can see that Misko was angled up, tried to get on the inside there. He backs off for a second. He tries to come into the pocket here, but too much angle, has to fall back. Now he's on a tighter line. So at this moment, he's making mistakes as he goes through the finish line as Bruschi lays down that clean lead run.
All right, let's see what we got. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, Misko just going for it, but he knows who he's going against, and he knows that he needs to drop the hammer on Bruschi. All right, Steve Misko getting the clean air. As clean as it can be with some Achilles tire evidence in the air. And here we go from the start. Clean start it is. Misko initiates into that first outside zone. And Bruschi giving herself a little bit of room there as body parts are flying off. And Misko dropping the hammer. Bruschi with a very shallow line does not get to that third outside zone. Looks like he's going to work his way out to that outside zone, staying out of that smoke trail, which does help, but that means he is offline, Ryan. Wow.
Yeah.
Smoky run there.
Just trying to be objective here. Bruschi looks like he was dealing with a really tough time driving behind Misko through the power alley. And he did take a tighter line, but let's take a look at Misko as he initiates. Now through here, both drivers are pretty close together. There's going to be an adjustment that he makes, thinking that he's going to go into outside zone, go wide. He doesn't. he only gets out to outside zone 3. So that's when Brudski actually cuts the line to gain proximity. Here it is again. We'll get a good angle of it here. You can see Misko does not get onto outside zone 3 at all. Brudski notices it, gets on the throttle. He's going to sacrifice outside zone 3 to gain proximity. So both drivers making some mistakes there to try to adjust to what the other driver is doing. And in particular, Brudski in the chase position sees right here that Misko does not get to outside zone 2. See the line that Brudski was on?
Yeah.
He was wanting to get out there. Notices that he's now offline. Then he cuts the line to gain proximity, which was probably a smart move. So I think the judges will definitely ding Misko for missing outside zone 2, and they'll maybe ding slightly less Brudski for cutting the line to gain proximity and missing outside zone 3.
Oh man, don't envy the judges here. That's when you really start to analyze and just get into the finite details of it all. All right, looks like we got a BC Racing side-by-side instant replay.
Yeah, and I mean, think about this, just broadly speaking. The battle of the leads is pretty clear. Brudski had the better of the battle of the leads. They're just going to be analyzing the chases, but of course, I think there's enough of a case to be made that the chase runs are clearly affected by the lead, right? Now, Brudski gave a really good lead run, so Misko had an opportunity. Misko did not have the greatest lead run. It was much harder opportunity for Brudski in the chase position.
Yep. Misko definitely had some. I was surprised by the power he had compared to Brudski. Like you said, was offline, but definitely had power on deck. Hear those things lumping away across the track. All right, what do we got? Waiting the judges. All right, judges putting in their choice. Enjoying some beaver buddies over there, guys. Nice. Lantain, how we doing over there, bud? You hook it in? You're all in? All right. Slide him left for Brudski, right for Misko, and there we go. Chris Yule, Ryan Lantain. What does Brian Eggert say? Brudski, never settle. It's not settling here in top 16. Unfortunately, Steve Misko his weekend is done. But, he knew he was going against Brudski, our points leader. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, we are entering into top 8, grade 8 territory. The Achilles tire, top 8 Achilles, the official tire of the Pro 2 Championship as we leave the top 16 Royal Purple. Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, the official engine oil of Formula Drift.
Link ECU produces standalone engine management technology with a range of products that allow you to unleash the power of your engine. Acting as your car's brain, Link ECUs control electronic fuel injection and ignition. A magnitude of sensor inputs and outputs ensure your engine exceeds your expectations. Built-in safety features guarantee engine protection, and data logs keep you informed on its performance. Smoke your tires, not your engine, with a world-leading Link ECU.
The Falcon Azenis RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenis RT660.
We're here for the perfectionists, the champions of doing things right. Whether they're in the shop or in the driveway, they trust O'Reilly Auto Parts. Because good enough won't cut it here. For over 50 years, we've been helping perfectionists get exactly what they want and exactly what they need without compromise. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Honestly, I think the Achilles 123S is the best tire for drifting. It's just so consistent. There's so much grip.
I love being on Achilles. It is incredible. The tire is incredible.
It's the best tire that I've ever used. Tons of grip. It's just so consistent, precise, very predictable.
Having a tire that's consistent all the way through from when it's cold to when it's roasting hot is very important.
I really wouldn't want to be on any other tire.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Royal Purple, the official engine oil of Formula Drift, the synthetic expert. NOS, the official energy drink of Formula Drift. NOS High Performance Energy. How hard will you drive? Welcome back here to round 3 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Ryan, am I hearing protest? Is that what's going down?
I believe one has been lodged. It was done in time.
Okay.
A quick refresher on that. If you want to make a protest, it needs to be done before the completion of the next battle. So usually what ends up happening is you have a spotter that knows they want to protest something. They'll say, hey, I want to put in a protest. And then they go and write up their form, make sure that it's all filled out. So I think that's the process part that we're in right now. Yep, so it looks like they made it in time.
Well, here's that was our top 16 bracket right here. And as we take a look at it, it's Daniel Stuke who is protesting here. Do you know exactly what he's protesting, Ryan?
I think it has something to do with what the chase driver did. So it may have been that he went off course somewhere, the judges didn't catch it. I did not look at the protest personally, so I don't know specifically. So let's see if there's anything that stands out to us here.
All right, let's see. Looks pretty straightforward there. No contact, nothing fishy. Okay, a correction or straightening in the chase position. All right, it looks like he did take out that front clip. Correction there, but is it a large enough straightening to offset?
Now, the basis of a protest has to be something that is unambiguous and that would overturn the ruling, meaning that the judges didn't catch it. So, for example, the protest that we got at the end of the top 32 was about a driver going 3 tires off course and the judges not catching it. Now, the group that lodged that protest, I thought they did a really good job in making sure that the protest was valid, because it did show, and that's the part I think they're looking at right there, was the straightening, and was that calculated into their overall judgment. It was pretty close there. I mean, the judges would obviously see that. There's no smoke blocking it. There's a number of different angles. So I don't know if it's going to overturn it, but in a case where you have, say, a driver that goes 3 tires off and the judges don't see it, there's smoke there, or another angle would have caught it. It makes sense sometimes for teams to protest. They're trying to make sure they give the best to their driver. This one, though, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Hey, when's your album come out? I feel like you look like you're about to play a coffee shop. I feel like you're about to play at a coffee shop here.
Hey there, Delilah.
Is that your jam? That's your go-to karaoke song?
No, that's.
What's your go-to karaoke song, Ryan?
I don't really have one.
You don't? I could see you singing like Prince, Purple Rain. Yeah, I think that'd be good. Or something. Right now, you look
on me.
That's not Prince.
I know. That's my song. That's my go-to song.
Okay. I was gonna say something. You look more like Jason Mraz right now. You got like a real Mraz hipster vibe to you.
Thanks. That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I like it. I like it. All right. Hey, if you're looking to get some more power, dial it in with Pedal Commander. You can see use code FD2020 for $30 off. You can gain faster acceleration, save up to 20% in fuel economy, easy plug-and-play installation, will not void your vehicle warranty, and its Bluetooth capabilities. You can see Pedal Commander being utilized by Matt Field and his team. The Orla exhaust, Pedal Commander, Falcon tires, Corvette, the Drift Cave, operating his vehicle, as well as the 2 BMWs of Josh Reynolds. And our other pro driver, the BMW, you can see Josh Reynolds waiting in the wings. He's going against Human Rahimi. What do we have out there? We got a little tailgate section going. TireStacks.com. What's up? Who is that? Is that Rome? Yep, that's Rome in the building. Rome Charpentier. Dmitry Brutsky leads the pack. Josh Love gets knocked out. So shaking, excuse me, shaking up the current standings. I apologize. Austin Mata, we saw him. Yeah, right. He got knocked out by Mike Power. So Mike Power is going to jump up. Jonathan Hurst, he advances on. He's in the grade 8. Look at Human Rahimi, top 6. Kelsey Rawlings, she got knocked out, as did Andy Haitley. So the grade 8 is shaping up. All right, let's take a look at the highlights of the top 16. We kick things off with a couple one more time battles. Eventually, Josh Reynolds gets the victory, taking out Human, or no, sorry, the other way. Yes, that is correct. Josh Reynolds taking out Human Rahimi in that top 16 and moving on into the grade 8. Really like, again, Human, Jonathan Hurst, they teamed up here for the 2020 season.
Well, I think overall the theme of guys teaming up, you know, was kind of born out of what we saw with Team RTR bringing together those resources and drivers, and we've seen it go back to other teams as well, and it really does make a lot of sense. And as to the action at hand, Jared, I think what we're seeing here is drivers that really got in a good practice and understand where the tricky parts of this course are in the chase position have seemed to fare much better. There's been some outstanding lead runs, and I think that that's going to continue to happen with open, clean air. But the chase runs have become challenging for drivers when they find themselves out of position. And of course, you know, it's always easier to chase a lead driver that's doing all the right things, but nonetheless, because of the full commitment that this course requests and how quick they have to get out of the gate and immediately start performing and then maintain that 100% throughout the remainder of the course, can be really tricky for these guys. So we're starting to see some drivers get knocked out early that were in the championship chase, like Josh Love, and that's going to be something that we're going to pay attention to. There's one more round of points at Irwindale Speedway that Pro 2 drivers can accumulate, and so getting knocked out in the top 16 for Josh Love, he's going to be watching Brutsky, and he's going to be watching his Austin Mata, who also did not make it into the grade 8. So right now, Brutsky has an opportunity to kind of step away a little bit.
Yep, create a gap between him and the rest of the field. And Ryan, we are hearing from the judges and our official. They are saying that they did listen to the protests. They, again, saw maybe a large correction that would offset Stuke, who we just saw there, going against Chase Schmidt. Chase Schmidt got the victory. The judges reviewed it, and unfortunately for Daniel Stuke, they are not reversing the call. The call still stands, with Chase Schmidt getting the victory, and moving on. This was Micah Diaz and Kelsey Rawlings, and we saw Kelsey almost go off course there and then just tucking in to the smoke signal, and yeah, she did go off. And just a few more battles here, taking a look. This is where our second in points, Josh Love, got too close for comfort. Gives him a little boop on the snoot. Right here, and boink, and exit state right. So unfortunately there for Josh Love, but fortunately for Derek Madison, he moves on. And the final battle of the top 16 is our current points leader, and Ryan, you're just talking about it, showing some dominance, never settling. He moves on past Steve Misko, and Misko definitely stepped up, like I said, on his lead run. But Brutsky giving himself an advancement into the Achilles Tire top 8. All right, it's a party in the top 8. Here we go. Josh Reynolds, Blake Olson. The wind kicks up, and we're gonna need that because there's gonna be some more smoke being created here. Yeah, I can definitely see how it could get brisk here. previous days. Blake Olson will be leading. Josh Reynolds giving chase.
Wasn't it last year we had the freak thunderstorm?
Was that here?
Was that last year?
One announcer's curse here. All right, here we go. Blake Olson initiates. Woo! Throws it in sideways. Nice job there, transitioning by. And in that second outer zone. Whoa! Big transition by Reynolds. We saw some dirt throw up into the sky. And look at that. Another mistake there by Reynolds through that sweeper. Blake Olson consistent all the way through. Ryan. Not through you, but I'm saying, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, let's take a look at this here. So getting a good look at it. Let's see what happens on this initiation. The CoreWorks car out front. Nice transition there. Now coming back around is Reynolds in the chase. And you can see the front end washes out there. He's not able to hold it. Olson pushed out wide, but really rode that line. Look at the front wheels, fully locked right out to the edge of outside zone 2, and 2 tires off there for Olson as he transitions and tries to get into outside zone 3. So he just really wasn't settled. Jared wasn't in the right place, and Olson took advantage of it. This always tricks me because I always think that's the lead, and that's the chase, but because of our new system, you can't do that.
No. Yeah, it does not. Nick Swan says that your song is Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. All right, Blake Olson, he's going to lead. Or sorry, the other way around. Josh Reynolds is leading with Blake Olson giving chase. Now coming past into that third outer zone, that's where Josh Reynolds had some issues. Not right now, not the case at all. Blake Olson looks like he's keeping it consistent. I think that was definitely a tempered approach for Blake Olson in that chase position. It didn't seem like an inactive chase, still throwing down, but give himself enough room if calamity happens in front of him. And Josh Reynolds, I think it's just too little too late. Really strong, good lead run, but with that major mistake in the chase on the first run, I believe that's going to be end of Josh Reynolds' weekend.
Well, Reynolds did do the right thing here. He came out aggressively. He's looking pretty solid here. He's going to push out wide and just get to the edge of outside zone 2. Right there, he does make a mistake. Is unable to fill outside zone 3. We love the aggressive driving, but we want to see those lead drivers fill those zones and get tight to the inside clips as much as possible. I think you're right. I think this was a little bit of an effort here by Olson to stay back a little bit and then attack towards the end. I would have liked to see him be a little bit more aggressive, but I completely understand, once Reynolds rocketed out of that start line, he was pretty much gone. He didn't fully fill outside zone 2, so there wasn't enough room there for Olson to attack. And like you said, that mistake may just be too much to overcome.
Is that it? Is this your song? Yep, that's the song. All right, here we go. Moving on into the grade 8.
Copyright infringement.
Blake Olson gets the win. Blake Olson moves on into the Final 4. All right, so there is our first driver into our Link ECU Top 4, the official engine management of Formula Drift. Here in the Achilles Tire Top 8, the official tire of the Pro 2 Championship. All right, there's the burnout box warming up those Achilles tires. Brian, somebody, my boy Brian says that you look like Jeff Fahey, most notably known for Lawnmower Man. Are you familiar with that actor?
Nope.
Yep, that's another one. That's a good one. I like that one. All right. So we just saw Josh and Blake. Next up, we got Mike Power versus Chase Schmidt. Again, just the way Power is driving here this weekend, it seems like this course suits him really well. The high speed. Chase Schmidt, we saw him do well in Seattle and in St. Louis, and there are the boys right now. You can see the numbers. There are the stats. 650 versus 800 horsepower. We'll see if Chase Schmidt down by 150 according to the numbers. And Mike was absolutely ripping, but Chase is going to get the clean air first. Chase Schmidt leads, it's E36. Chase Schmidt, S15, hunting him down. There it is, Mike Power transitions past that front clip. You can see Chase bringing it into that third outside zone. Let's see how they handle the sweeper. Chase Schmidt goes towards the middle line. See if we can massage it towards the back in there? He does. So really well done by both the drivers. Clean run. This is the shape of things to come. All right, so Chase Schmidt out front and Mike Power in the chase.
Yeah, getting a good look at it here. You can see he does get to the edge of that outside zone 2. We're not seeing guys completely fill it, but outside zone 3 much better. Nearly coming in contact with each other right before inside clip number 1 as they transition and just rocket through the power alley. Gets close, but falls off, gets behind, almost goes off course, but it then comes back on it. I like the way that he made an adjustment to the mistake. He was able to do that and still made it look pretty good in the chase position. His transition put him on that wider line. You can see he's driving through the smoke, then he comes off of the smoke and is able to close the door there towards the end. So, you know, good defensive move in not turning a small mistake into a big one, but able to get something back there and close that gap.
I also think you might sing Evanescence. I think that's definitely a good Ryan Sage thing. So here we go as Mike Power will lead. Mike Power, like you said, he, according to the numbers, 150 more power, 150 more horsepower than Chase Schmidt. Right now it looks dominant. You're seeing Chase Schmidt have to take angle out of the vehicle to keep that proximity. Oh, where'd he go? The old Houdini. Chase Schmidt. First you see him, now you don't, and he is back there. Looks like he went off course. And Mike Power, like I said, he is just on one right now.
Well, Schmidt, right at the beginning, or excuse me, right at the end of outside zone 3, getting into that left-hand sweeper, disappeared in the smoke line from the bare naked eye. Let's take a look at what happens here. Through the power alley, right at the edge there. And then on the transition, you can see he's starting to swing wide. Yep, the front tire goes off. There's 2, there's 2.5, there's 3, there's 4. So big mistake there. We lose him in the smoke, but we see him on the other side. He goes completely off course, and that is going to be hard to come back from.
Catch you on the other side, unfortunately for Chase Schmidt. Catch him outside. How about that? Yeah, catch him outside. How about that? That's what's up. All right, as the judges deliberate, our 2021 Tundra and Tacoma Special Edition Nightshade. And here we go. Slide them left for Power, right for Chase Schmidt. I have to assume they're going to go left, and they do. Mike Power gets the victory unanimously. Power's going against Olsen in the Final Four, the Link ECU.
And that's a big one. That's a big one,
yeah.
Jerry. That's a guy that's sitting in 20th place right now, taking out the 5th place points finisher after the first 2 rounds. So that is a big defeat.
I mean, where was Blake Olsen sitting? Taking a look at the standings. Where was Blake? Because both those guys jumped up quite a bit.
Olsen was in number 9.
Okay, 9, sorry. So he's just outside of that Grade 8 Pro licensing. So halfway through our Grade 8, forging our Final Four. Jonathan Hurst, Micah Diaz. 2 hot rods, hot boys. Here we go. You can see the numbers there. Oh, look at them, same age, but considerable horsepower difference. We'll see how Micah Diaz manages going against this high horsepower G37 of Jonathan Hurst. It's a big horsepower difference, and it was very apparent when Jonathan Hurst was going against Lynn. You just saw him just absolutely dominate. He had more horsepower, especially through that sweeper. You saw Hurst in the chase position just lunging forward against Lynn. Let's see how Micah Diaz fares against that Cash Racing G37. Transitioning through, and there it is. The horsepower difference showing up right now. Woo, look at that, Ryan. I mean, now is where it's going to get interesting because as they alternate positions, like I said, Jonathan Hurst had that power on deck and was really flexing on Lynn. I think that might be the case here, but Mike has got to run his own run, man.
Yeah, you cannot take Jonathan Hurst lightly. He got into the outside zone. He used that latest point of initiation to really carry a lot of speed, and it helped him a lot. Notice the transitions are still snappy. He's getting into the second and third outside zone pretty deeply, and Diaz is having a little bit of trouble keeping pace. And this is where the separation starts to happen through the power alley. But notice Hurst is getting out to outside zone 2, so he's not running away trying to get to outside zone 3. He's using the power of the car, driving it pretty solidly, and Diaz is just not able to close that gap. It wasn't a full runaway. Diaz still played a role, but as soon as we get to this section of the course here, you can see he really starts to accelerate, and Diaz does have to make an adjustment there by driving through the center, not really getting into outside zone 2 to gain back a little bit of the proximity that he lost.
I'm trying to think where we saw Hurst on the box. And we are clear to start as Hurst and Diaz. This is the furthest we've seen Diaz in competition.
You want to get some? You want to get data? Is that what you want?
Let's get some data, bro.
Yeah, St. Louis.
Okay, there you go. Thank you for reminding me. Seems like forever ago, and it seems like yesterday, all at the same time. Here we go. Micah Diaz, hold fast. That BMW takes out that front flip, and look at, there we go. Hurst flexing on him, making it rain, cash racing. Micah Diaz, like you said, like we talked about, he's got to run his own run, but Hurst really feeling the pressure. Did I see a little hand there from Micah? I believe I might have seen him kind of, come on, buddy, get close. Stick it to the wall. Let's take a look at it again. Really good lead run by Micah Diaz. He knew how much horsepower was there. A spotter saying, go for it.
Well, we complimented Hurst in this last battle about how well and how sophisticated his chase run was leading up into inside clip number 1. He does something pretty similar here. He does back off on outside zone 2, but notice the proximity, how strong it is. And Diaz is running a good enough run that it allows Hurst to tuck up on the inside, stay door to door there, tapping him through the finish line and not letting him get away. Let's take a look at it again from inside clip 1. Diaz just taps it there. Hurst a little bit shallow on outside zone 2,
yeah,
but he's going to make up for it here as he gets through outside zone 3, and then he follows the line that Diaz is running through the final outside zone and right through the finish line there. So great job by Diaz in the lead, and Hurst looking strong in that chase position.
Yeah, I didn't like how Hurst managed from the front clip to the third outer zone, you know, just really lack of angle, but both of them kind of were consistent on that, you know, with Diaz out front, but Hurst in that chase position. I think if he would have poured more angle at it, Diaz would have gapped him there. So slide him left for Hurst, right for Diaz, and looks like Jonathan Hurst is getting the win. Jonathan Hurst gets the win and moves on into the Final Four. Micah Diaz, unfortunately, has come to a halt. So the hold fast BMW gets knocked out as Hurst advances on. As you're talking about, got on the podium in St. Louis. Thank you for the data there, Ryan, our analyst. As Mr. Never Settle, Dmitry Brutsky, warming up the tires. So again, we talked about it earlier, Ryan. Irwindale, potentially 25% attendees. What is that, like 3,000 people, maybe? I think.
It'll probably be somewhere in that neighborhood because we're not allowed to put in the temporary grandstands, so it's going to be just the main grandstands. But we are thinking about some other cool ideas, depending on what happens. This next week for us is going to be an action-packed week after we get done with Texas, because everything is going to be leading up to Irwindale, and we've got some ideas brewing. So,
oh boy, stay tuned. Oh wow, I like it. I saw the Type S lights getting sent out to the drivers. That's going to be pretty sick.
That's in the realm.
That's in the realms.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I like it. I like it. Here we go. Our final battle of the Great Eight. We've seen a lot of the points leaders get knocked out. Is Dmitry Brutsky going to advance on? We got a restart here. Madison leave early or something, or Dmitry leave early? Dude, you don't tell him to settle, okay? Never settle. He just can't, you know, he's got to wait. Got to wait. All right, here we are, the Great Eight. So Brutsky still in. Love out. Austin Mata out. Jonathan Hurst, he's in. Chase Schmidt, he gets knocked out. Hoon Rahimi knocked out. Kelsey, I mean, look at that. Only a few of those Great Eight drivers, or the top 8 drivers, are still in it. And again, notably right now, it's all about Dmitry Brutsky. Is he able to advance on? Got a couple drivers up here spotting for a couple pro drivers spotting for Pro 2 drivers. See see Matt Powers up here to spot for Josh Reynolds. And here we go. Brudski initiates that first outside zone transition into that front clip. Derek Madison flexing on him, getting to the side of that BMW. Now into that third outside zone. Brudski, massive angle there. Power on deck. Again, Michael Essa prepared vehicle, the Essa Autosports BMW, and pulls it all the way through. Ryan Brudski really showing you why he's our points leader. But Madison, no slouch.
Yeah, and now the clear points leader with Love going out early on. Brudski making it into the grade 8. He now puts himself in that position. Let's see what he can do here in this battle against Madison. See and notice how deep he gets into outside zone 2 and 3. He does drop that tire there, but he's really drawing a very wide S. Where other drivers are coming through it, it's a much tighter S. Coming through inside clip 1, he points it out to outside zone 2. Madison surges forward, tries to get up on the inside. He's going to be a little bit on a tighter line here, but Brudski's going to maintain a consistent line. Notice the smoke line, no interruptions, just pure throttle all the way through, and another clean lead run there by Dmitry Brudski. With Madison chasing up the rear end, he had a pretty good job there overall. But he's going to have to take a look at what he can do here in the lead position to match that lead run of Dmitry Brudski, because we know Brudski is a solid chase driver. He's not going to give an inch.
You know what Dmitry Brudski's favorite wintertime activity is?
Go ahead.
He goes brute skiing. Terrible dad joke.
Cool.
I'll just leave. That's cool. That's a cool joke. All right, here we go. Let's alternate the order here as Derek Madison will leave. Or excuse me, will lead. He'll leave the start line here in a little bit. We can see in the back Blake Olson getting prepped. He's already in the final 4. Jonathan Hurst going against one of these gentlemen. Madison throws it in. That inertia garage S chassis, bringing it into that second outside zone, into the third. Oh, where's Brudski going? Takes in the shallower line. Gets thrown off there, and now he jumps to the side of him. But Ryan, that was a big mistake by our points leader.
That may have been the first time that we've seen a bit of a weakness from Dmitry Brudski in the chase position. And Madison really highlighted it because he came out and committed himself to a solid lead run. Nice early initiation right before the last standing cone, full throttle through this inside clip. Out wide to outside zone 2, pulling a gap on Brudski. Brudski sees it, surges forward, completely misses outside zone 3 to tuck up on the inside, but Madison unfazed, stays in it, and keeps it consistent through the finish line there. Here it is once again. Watch Madison. See how fluid he is getting into outside zone 2, and Brudski transitions halfway through the power alley, which causes him to miss that third outside zone completely. Let's take a look at it from the drone. Madison does a great job here in outside zone 2, and Brudski transitions super early, and he doesn't follow Madison out to outside zone 3. Now, I don't know if he was doing that for calculated reasons. He was trying to gain proximity, but nonetheless, it would be a mistake in the chase.
Oh boy, a couple wasps here attacking us. Making me nervous. All right, Ryan, our final battle of the grade 8. What is going to be the outcome? Jonathan Hurst waits in the wings. Oh, here we go. The BC Racing side-by-side instant replay. BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift. Go for gold.
Well, if you're judging at home, you're doing the exact same thing that we are right now. The judge is taking a look at it. Brudski on the left in the lead, Madison on the right. And you see that gap being pulled there, that mistake. And look at Madison holding pretty good proximity through that center section. Now, again, he was on that tighter line. He has to back off for a second to try to reestablish himself to gain proximity. Brudski does a great job in the chase position to do that in that section of the course, but we are seeing, you know, mistakes from both sides, and Brudski definitely had a noticeable one.
All right, judge is still deliberating. Put down the Beaver buddies. Let's get a verdict. Here we go. Sliding left for Madison, right for Brudski. Is our points leader going to advance on? Or does Derek Madison from St. Louis? Oh, we got it one more time from Chris Yule. Ryan Lantain says Dmitry Brudski, and Derek Madison, excuse me, and Brian Eggert says Uno Mas. One more time. So, first one more time we've seen here in grade 8.
Yeah, and we are at the end of the bracket, so we're not going to be able to move forward. But let's bring in Ryan Lantain just so we can get an idea of what the other judges have been thinking there, and also, you know, what his result was as well.
Hey, real quick, Ryan Lontaine, going to you. You actually chose Dimitri Brutsky. You got outnumbered there one more time. Up. All right, hold on. All right, Ryan, just getting your headset put on there, putting down the Beaver Buddies, getting the verdict. Going to you, Ryan.
Yeah, I thought that Brutsky's lead run was really clean. He did a great job outside zone number 1 and 2. Really deep at 3. He actually dropped the tire just a little bit over there, but I think he did a really great job of filling all the zones. Even 4, he was wide all the way around. When Madison was leading, he did a good job. He didn't go as deep in 2. I don't think he went as deep at 3, and he missed the majority of 4, I believe, as well in his lead position. Now, in the chase position, Dimitri didn't have quite the proximity throughout the course. He did catch up by cheating a little bit there on zone 3. But in Madison's chase, he took angle out quite a bit between 3 and 4 and missed a lot of 4 as well. So I kind of saw that although Dimitri didn't have the proximity, he was more consistent and did a better job, because that Madison straightening there, it was almost a straighten. It wasn't a full incomplete, but I just didn't like the way he did that, which is why I went with Dimitri. I just saw some cleaner lines and a little bit more precision on the lead and a little bit more consistent, let's say, in the chase.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ryan Lontaine, for some insight. Fresh set of tires, fuel in the tank. When you come back, the one more time battle between Derek Madison and Dimitri Brutsky. Thanks for joining us here at Texas Motor Speedway. Jared Deenda, Ryan Sage, your tour guides here in Texas.
The quality of Japanese craftsmanship. Brid.
What is power and control? Power is the sprint. Control is the hurdle. Power is the flame. Control is the perfect stake. Power is turbulence. Control is containment. Power is the ignition. Control is the sensor. NGK and NTK. Power under control.
We're here for the perfectionists, the champions of doing things right. Whether they're in the shop or in the driveway, they trust O'Reilly Auto Parts, because good enough won't cut it here. For over 50 years, we've been helping perfectionists get exactly what they want and exactly what they need without compromise, turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day.
The Falcon Azenis FK510 tire is engineered for today's high-performance vehicles. Built with added tread rigidity for precise handling and an advanced rubber compound that inspires confidence, rain or shine. Get more out of your sports coupe or sedan with the Azenis FK510.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Air Force. Aim high. Type S, official lighting sponsor of Formula Drift. Lights, camera, power, fun. And GT Radial. Experience the performance.
Welcome back here to Texas Motor Speedway. Again, our final battle there is how it shapes up. Blake Olson's in. He's going against Mike Power. Jonathan Hurst, he is in. He's going against either Madison or Brutsky. And Ryan Lontaine broke down his perception of what he saw, but he was outnumbered. They said, not today, Canadian, as the two American judges out-verdict him, saying they wanted to see it one more time. As, yeah. There you go. Ryan, you're not always right. It's a tough job being old judge there. As Brudski warming up his Achilles tires. See what he's got. Brudski, I heard him say he's from Massachusetts.
Yes, Mass and Belarus.
Belarus, that's right. Belarus. And you can see the EA ESSA Autosports on the roof. One-time vehicle of ESSA. He bought his previous Z4 as well. And again, a couple of the pro drivers, I thought ESSA was spotting for Brudski, but not the case.
Well, I think we know what both drivers need to do here. We saw some really top moments from those lead runs. It seems like the chase is still a bit out of the grasp to kind of back that up. I think Hurst has had some of the best chase runs we've seen in this round so far. And really it starts with getting that positioning right from the onset. Outside zone 1 to the inside clip. If you can get through the power alley, it's all good to go.
Ryan, if you haven't seen it already, you saw a little commercial. I might wear my Royal Purple socks, but buy one Royal Purple Max Boost Octane Booster and Stabilizer. Get one free pair of Royal Purple socks by mail. Available only at O'Reilly. So
yep, I want to get involved in that.
Yeah, bro. You want a pair of socks?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they look good on you. Since, again, your go-to, your Royal Purple Rain, right? That's what you sing. That's your go-to.
That's it.
That's your go-to song. Or, again, Kiss from Rose. Da, 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 da. Again, I think, or 1, something's got to give. 2, something, right? Is that your jam? All right, here we go. The one more time battle. Brudski and Madison. Brudski will lead, never settle. Come on, here we go. Woo, Brudski. Nice initiation. Derek Madison, both of them wrapping around that front clip. And Ryan, there's that correction, that straightening there, but I think it's just a compromise of linking that all the way into that third outside zone. Madison tucking in, and there he takes a shallower line. Brudski pouring on more angle. Woo, Madison whipping past that finish line. So Ryan, my only point of contention here is, again, going from outside zone 2 to outside zone 3 and just linking that with angle. Both of them had, they compromised, took some angle out of the vehicle.
Well, we saw Brudski obviously coming out aggressive. He did drop a tire there. He went outside the rumble strip, but he's flying through the course here. He does get to outside zone 2, so his line is doing pretty awesome so far. Same on outside zone 3, but then you can see Madison falls a little bit deeper on the line and is losing ground to Brudski after outside zone 3. Does a pretty good job of maintaining proximity here. On the transition, he's kind of behind him, and then he goes through the smoke line and stays a little bit too deep. Now he's in the smoke line. He has to adjust, cut that line to get back to Brudski, but by that time, Brudski has crossed the finish line. So we talked about that earlier, the importance of getting the positioning right from the onset, but we can never discount how challenging outside zone 3 to outside zone 4 has been for these competitors here today. We've seen a number of drivers go off course, miss time, not be in the right position, make adjustments, and so we know that every part of this course is extremely important, and in both positions, right? The lead and the chase run. You got to get the best 2 runs that you can possibly get to be moving on, and as we move deeper into competition, we're just going to see guys doing it better and better.
Taking a look at that back bumper, make sure it doesn't fly off, and there we go, just take it off. Thank you, Sopa. Matt Sopa. You don't follow him on Instagram. Good Instagram follow. He's got the, was it Back to the Fusion? He's got the Coyote-powered Ford Fusion rear-wheel drive. He's also got a Fox body. He's got a few different drift machines out there in Arizona. And here we go. Madison will lead. Brudski will give chase. Rip roaring, ready to go. Who's going to move on? Who's going against Hurst? Flicks it in. There we go. Madison pulling away from Brudski. Brudski taking a wide line, gets into the dirt. You see the brown cloud being thrown up. And Brudski nowhere to be found. Derek Madison dominant out front. Ryan, not good run there for Dmitry Brudski, unfortunately.
I think he got phased right after inside clip number 1.
Yep.
And it may have been a mistake by Madison that caused it, but let's take a look at it again. Make sure that we're seeing things here correctly. Madison, straight line approach, gets into it. Now notice he comes off outside zone 1 super fast, and Brudski's like, I got to catch up here. Now Brudski falls off as Madison hits outside zone 2, and then he has nowhere to go. He has no space to transition, and it looks like Brudski may have been caught just a little bit by surprise on what Madison was going to do there. Madison was a little bit wide, it looks like, on outside zone or inside clip number 1, but he was going so fast. He left that outside zone so quickly, even while filling it, that Brudski may have had to make an adjustment or felt he needed to make an adjustment that caused a mistake. Notice how quickly he gets off that outside zone, transitions back around. He was off that inside clip, but Brudski just was not able to make the adjustments, and then really he had nothing he could do after he dropped a tire there and tried to transition back around in the chase position.
Oh man, are we saying bye-bye Brudski here? Let's see, Derek Madison potentially playing spoiler. Slide him left for Madison, right for Brudski. And look at this, our current points leader is knocked out by Derek Madison. Derek Madison gets the win, D-Mad 27.
So Madison doing a big favor there for the other top
right?
contenders, because the deeper that Brudski was going in competition, the bigger the points lead was going to be. Now that has stopped. The bleeding has stopped there for those other drivers, and Derek Madison has done a great job upending this championship chase and putting his name into the hat himself here, as he will now have to face Jonathan Hurst.
Only one of the drivers up there, Jonathan Hurst, out of the current eight points leaders, is in the final 4. So there you see it. Again, Brudski out, Love out, Mata the only one in. Jonathan Hurst currently 4th in points. He could jump up and rise to the occasion. Chase Schmidt, Humar Rahimi, Kelsey, Andy, gone. Nobody in the final 4. And like you said, Ryan, Power jumped from 20-something up now quite a bit. Blake Olson was in 9th. He's going to change his ranking. And then Madison, where was Madison at there, Ryan? Points
Well, Madison is all the way down in 19th.
Oh, so he was down there too. So, all right. Well, the gateway to the West here in Texas. So Derek Madison will go against Hurst. But first of all, let's take a look at the highlights from the top 8 Achilles Tire, top 8, the official Tire Pro 2 Championship. This is where we saw the BMWs of Olson and Josh Reynolds going at it, but Blake Olson really dominant here. You can see keeping his composure because Josh had some mistakes there in that first battle. So Blake Olson decides to kick back, not an inactive chase, but just not a good run there from Mr. Reynolds. Next up, we saw it was Mike Power and Chase Schmidt. And Mike Power, I called it, man. He seemed to be one to watch. This track suits him really well. He's got a lot of horsepower and just seems to have a lot of confidence coming into Texas this weekend. And Chase Schmidt, definitely a killer, but not so much against Mike Power. You can barely see the back half of that vehicle. Then we saw Jonathan Hurst and Micah Diaz. Hurst, a lot of horsepower here. I think Derek Madison will be challenging him though when it comes to that battle, because Madison seems to have a lot of horsepower as well. But Jonathan Hurst, too much to handle for Micah Diaz. So Mr. Holds Fast, holds stop all of a sudden. So holds firm. And again, we just came off of the one more time battle between Madison and Brudski, and Derek Madison plays spoiler, taking out our current points leader. Mr. Never Settle, unfortunately has to settle just a bit outside looking in.
And Jared, just picking back up on this championship chase, I think out of everybody that's in the Final 4 right now, it's really Jonathan Hurst who has the most to gain here. He's currently sitting in 4th place, and his overall point total is 136. That puts him about 24 points outside of first place, and he could clearly make that up the deeper that he gets into competition. So he has a huge opportunity to attack here and make it a very tight race going into Irwindale.
All right, Balake Olson here on the line, going against Mike Power. First battle of the Link ECU Final 4. Blake Olson transitions past that front clip. Look at that. Close proximity as Mike Power has to back off just a little bit, going to that third outside zone. You see Blake taking the middle of the line, and Mike Power taking a little bit shallower, keeping himself out of the smoke trail.
That was a nasty move by Power that nearly paid off. It could have been a lot worse than it was, and he could have really backed off and lost some ground there, but I love the aggression. Let's take a look at it. Olson, straight line approach. Nice little snap, gets out to the edge of the rumble strips. Look at Power getting right next to him. Super close here. He's going to tap him, it looks like, right before outside zone 2. Now that's where he could have really fallen off, but he's able to get back on it, follow Power almost into outside zone number 2, or excuse number 3. As we take a look at it from above, you can see he's super tight here. misses outside zone 1 to really get that tightness. And then right here, he's going to make contact with the right rear of Blake Olson. Fortunately for him, he's actually able to make it look pretty decent, so the aggressiveness may pay off in this favor depending on how he does in his lead run. You can see he's on a tighter line here, but he's starting to move a little bit more north to be on the right line there with Olson out front. So good little back and forth battle here. Both drivers showing some incredible skill here in the Final Four.
Yeah, really, really exciting. Like I said, I really like the way Power's driving. Blake seems like he's been consistent, but some things just haven't gone his way. So I think he's definitely got a capable car. He's a very talented driver. Just over the years, always built really cool cars. He had a really amazing FC RX-7 with a LS under the hood, and then this BMW, just the evolution of the builds in the drifting world. So I've seen Blake really develop. And again, Mike Power's vehicle operated by MA Motorsports out of Maryland. This vehicle was under construction for quite some time, and excited to see B-Dub, Brian Wilkerson out here in the MA Motorsports camp. And here we go. So Mike Power turning up the power. Here we go. Mike will lead. Blake Olson give a chase. Solid initiation by both of them. And there we go. Power pulling a little bit away. Doesn't get out to that second outside zone. Blake Olson totally getting thrown off there. Doesn't go to the second or third outside zone for Mr. Olson, but Mike Power kicking up a gang of smoke. Ryan, unfortunately, Blake had some major mistakes there.
Yeah, this did not have the impact from both drivers that we saw on run number 1, where the guys were really pushing hard and they were able to pull off the things that they were trying to do here. As Powers takes the lead, and he transitions to inside clip number 1. He's going to take it out, but look at Olson in the chase position. He's not really hanging with Power, and he makes that big mistake coming through the center section. Let's take a look at it from the drone here. Olson comes through inside clip 1. He gets lost in the smoke there, or he's driving in the smoke. Doesn't fill outside zone 2, and then straight line approach, completely blowing outside zone 3. Meanwhile, out front, you can see that Power was able to keep that gap established and use it as an advantage. Now on outside zone 1, I don't think Power filled it. I think he got up a little bit early, put him on a tight line to hit that inside clip, and he doesn't get out to outside zone 3 as well. I mean, outside zone 2. He does get to 3, so the first half of the run, Power's really struggling to find the line that he needs, and obviously that's going to play a role and have an effect on the chase driver, but we do expect the chase driver to make those adjustments if they can, and unfortunately Olson had to make some mistakes, not some adjustments.
Well, I believe it's going to go the way of Power, just unofficially, but Blake will still have an opportunity to get third place, that final podium spot. Oh, look at this. Man, Chris Ewell siding with Blake Olson. Oh, look at this. So I was completely incorrect. Look at that. Look at that. I thought it was out. Lontaine, please elaborate. What's up? What do you got? Lontaine.
So in the driver briefing, we were very specific about the lead driver needing to fulfill the lead driver goals. And at this track, the lead driver goals are big initiation, angle from outside zone 1, big transition inside clip 1, and then angle out to outside zone 2. And in Power's lead, he did not do that at all.
I guess I was so focused on Olson, I wasn't looking at Power. Wow.
Yeah, he was really the reason that Olson had a hard time. He wasn't doing what we were looking for in the lead. But if you look at Olson's lead, he had big angle at initiation at outside zone 1, transition nice inside clip 1, filled outside zone 2 with good angle, gave the chase driver a really good opportunity there to be close and have a good chase run. But
here it is a good side-by-side, so it's a good opportunity as we take a look at the PC Racing custom coilovers instant replay.
Yeah, so look at Power in the lead there. Lower angle through that area, doesn't get out. He was probably mid-track at outside zone 2, and that's the easy way to get away from the chase driver, really not fulfilling those lead driver goals at all, and that's really what gave us the push to go towards Olson, and Olson's lead was awesome.
Yeah.
He had a really great lead run. Power's chase was better, but he had a much better lead to go behind. And this track, it's so vital to do what you're supposed to do between initiation and outside 2. If you're not doing that, then it's going to be a really big problem for the chase car to keep up to you.
You know, I was really focused on Olson, but I mean, So you're saying that Power checked up Blake, and because it seemed like it was an independent situation for Blake in that chase position.
In the chase position, what happened is he didn't have a lead to follow because between initiation and inside clip 1, Power had very low angle, first of all, so he's going to get away more.
Yep.
And then he didn't go out to outside zone 2 at all. He's down the center of the track with low angle. He's might as well be grip racing through that section, you know, putting that 800 or 900 horsepower to the ground a lot more than he should be. He should be sideways, you know, making smoke, not gripping and going straight through that section.
All right.
This is verbatim what we talked about in the briefing. The three of us just said that to each other. We said, this is exactly that situation that we spoke about. And we said, we're going to hold those lead drivers accountable. And in this case, we did.
There you go.
Ba
All right.
Basically what he's saying there is that the threshold for an adjustment by the chase had been surpassed by the mistakes of the lead.
Thank you. Thank you for your clarification.
That's the Cliff Notes.
Thank you, Edge from you too. I appreciate that. Does not compute, Ryan. All right, let's move on to the other side. So now, what I was kind of forecasting for Blake Olson to go to the consolation round. No, he's in the finals, but Mike Power can still get that last podium spot in the third place battle. All right, so Jonathan Hurst, Derek Madison. Here we go. Hurst will lead. Madison giving chase. Who's going against Blake Olson in the finals? Woo! There we go. Hurst throws it in. Like I said, I think it's going to be a fairly equally matched. You can see the horsepower. Lack of angle there from Madison, but Hurst throws it into that third outside zone. Madison tries to do the same, but it grips up. And woo, throwing some flames out the hood of the G37 is Hurst. And brings it across the finish line. Ryan.
Yeah, once again, another great lead run from Hurst. The only thing I'm getting concerned about is that he seems to be initiating later and later towards that last standing, that final cone into the outside zone. And you don't want him to get dinged for that. See, notice he gets really, really close to the outside zone. The judges want to see you initiating right before that or at that last standing cone as the latest point. But outside of that, it's an incredible lead run. And look, Madison is not able to hang with him here on the final left-hand sweeper. There's the initiation. Good transition back around. He's tight on that inside clip. Could add a little bit more angle, but he's still able to get out to outside zones 2 and 3. Now Madison's hanging with him up until here, but then falls off, carries too much momentum, and now he's left playing catch-up. Has to cut the line to try to gain proximity, but not enough time to clear as he gets through the finish line.
Well, Ryan, we are hearing that Derek Madison from St. Louis is calling a competition timeout.
Wow.
So, yeah, our first competition timeout we've seen today. So in addition to providing spark plugs for domestic and import vehicles, NGK produces spark plugs for motorcycle, power sports, marine, and outdoor power equipment. NGK also offers complementary ignition product lines, including ignition coils, resistor caps, spark plug wires, and high-performance cables. For reliable performance, trust NGK, the ignition specialist. Visit ngksparkplugs.com to learn how NGK is redefining the category with high ignitability technology through its ruthenium HX spark plugs. An NGK competition timeout is called by Derek Madison. So again, Blake Olson waits in the wings. He's going against the winner of this battle to see who gets the win here at round 3 of the Link Engine Management Pro Championship. We got a homeboy on a one wheel coming over to check out Derek Madison. There's Kevin and Kevin Jr. The 4-minute, you can see the 5-minute, the competition clock there. Clock is ticking, just 4 minutes left for Derek Madison to get his car up and running. We'll take a short break. When we come back, continuation here of the final 4.
The cast on set. Can I get the cast on set? Came with the black mask again. Throw down, go the distance like a javelin. Roll out, host take it, never ask to win. So I never drop the ball like I'm traveling. Hey, only ever fade away to make a play. Before I hit a game, I don't need a break. Got these bench warmers need to stay away. It's a home game, but they bout to feel away. Ain't nobody wanna body anybody.
In my 1,000 horsepower competition drift car, I use Royal Purple XPR 5W50. XPR is specifically formulated to increase horsepower and torque in high performance and racing engines. And its revolutionary Cinerlic additive technology and zinc phosphorus fortified formulation provides the highest level of protection against heat and wear. The new 550 is all killer, no filler. It has better high temperature performance than any other 2050 engine oil. The result is a performance oil that protects like no other, utilizing superior base oils and additives. It's what sets Royal Purple apart from the rest, and what is also transferred down to their HPS High Performance Street Oil, which is what I run in my daily drifter. So from here to here, all you get is extreme performance from the synthetic experts. Royal Purple.
Honestly, I think the Achilles 123S is the best tire for drifting. It's just so consistent. There's so much grip.
I love being on Achilles. It is incredible. The tire is incredible.
It's the best tire that I've ever used. Tons of grip. It's just so consistent, precise, very predictable.
Having a tire that's consistent all the way through from when it's cold to when it's roasting hot is very important.
I really wouldn't want to be on any other tire.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Link ECU. Link Engine Management, the official ECU of Formula Drift. Achilles Tires, tires you can trust. And Ford. Welcome back as Derek Madison does make his competition timeout. Did we find out what this issue was, Pat? Did we find out? Just breaking up. All right. Okay. All right. As Derek Madison. All right. So Madison and Jonathan Hurst. And again, we saw a great lead run there from Jonathan Hurst, and now Derek Madison will be out front. Hurst will pull up to the line, get him going. Blake Olson going against the winner of this battle. And Mike Power going against the loser for third place. Hurst warming up his Achilles tires. If you haven't already, download Torque Drift for a special challenge event this weekend. Drift with your friends and battle against professional drivers like Dai, Odie, and the RTR crew to earn unique crates, titles, and prizes in Torque Drift. Available on iOS, Android, and in early access on Steam for PC. Download it now and stay sideways. Check out Torque Drift. All right, sending cars. Here we go. Second half of this battle after Derek Madison calls the competition timeout. See what you got, fellas. Madison out front, Hurst. Chasing him down. Boom. I talked about that initiation by Jonathan Hurst. Pushing the envelope, but not the case right now with Madison out front. Coming through the sweeper. Madison takes a shallow line, but there's that horsepower. Look at that. Hurst just right there on the side of Madison. Ryan, do we have a winner who is moving on into the finals to go against Balake Olson?
Well, this is the second half of the battle here after the competition timeout, and Madison with the fist out the window. Looks like he feels pretty good about his run here. Let's take a look at it. Little weight transfer into initiation. Strong throttle control here through inside clip 1, pushing out to 2. But Hurst is hanging with them on that transition back around. He transitions earlier. He's still able to kind of get in the pocket. He does miss outside zone 3 a little bit. Here it is from above as a swoop from outside zone 1 to inside clip number 1. Driving right through the smoke line was Hurst. He chooses to get out of it and take this different approach, which caused him to be a little bit tight on inside or outside zone number 3. But great job on proximity, and Madison looking strong in the lead position overall. Here it is one more time, coming through the power alley. You can see the difference in approaches to that outside zone 3. Hurst trying to eye up where Madison was going, but driving in a smoke line looks like he kind of had to come out of it early to make sure that he eyed up the correct position. So now we've seen both runs. Who's it going to be, Jonathan Hurst or Derek Madison going to the finals against Blake Olson?
Oh man, this is definitely a good battle here. Judges still deliberating. Here is the BC Racing Go for Gold custom coilovers, side-by-side instant replay. Ryan, what stands out to you here? I mean, again, still deliberating.
Well, the run on the right is the most fresh in my mind. It's the run on the left that I'm looking at a little bit more intently here, just to kind of get a refresher. So you remember we had Madison fall off there and not really be able to gain proximity. So Hurst has a good lead. Now, looking at the lead on the right-hand side by Madison, he came back and had a good run, you know, but was it enough? Hurst kept the proximity on. He hasn't made many mistakes here this weekend.
No, Hurst, I mean, both these guys, obviously that's why they're here in the Final Four. Seeing one of our judges stand up, stretch out. Looks like he's put his verdict in. All right. Waiting for Brian Egger here to tap in his score.
Oh, I saw a fist pump. That means winner.
All right. Jonathan Hurst, Derek Madison, slide him one more time. Oh boy. Lontaine says Jonathan Hurst. You okay there, Ryan? And Jonathan Hurst gets the win. Hey, you got a laugh track over here. All right, so Hurst is moving on to the finals. We saw him on the box in St. Louis, and now Blake Olson. Catch me outside. Look at that. His wing does say that. His wing says, "Catch me outside." That's sick. Right on. We were talking about that, and there you go. So yeah, enjoying a can of NOS there, Ryan. Nice. Thanks for joining us here again. I'm Jared Dienda, old Edge from U2 here. Thank you for joining us. How's the new album going?
Pretty good. You know, we're deep in development, you know, just trying to, you know, figure out what we want to do.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. You don't sound Irish when you're in person at all, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. All joking aside, awesome Pro 2. I mean, so far, and they've really, again, just quickly expedited 32, but now here we are already in the finals and third place consolation battle.
Yeah, and look at the points on the line here. First place, 100 points. Now remember, Jonathan Hurst was 26 points out of first place. So even if he gets second, and Brudski finished in the Great 8, correct?
Yeah, he got knocked out.
Right,
in 8.
so he's going to end with 48 points. At bare minimum, Hurst is going to get 40 points above that. So he is going to move into first place after this unofficially. And it looks really good for Jonathan Hurst to make a big move in the championship, give himself potentially some cushion going into the Irwindale event. Now remember, it won't be a clean 44 points because obviously Brudski was able to pick up some points along the way, and he had 26 points on top of that, which means that our championship is going to be super tight. Now, these are the rankings coming into this event, and we know that those rankings are going to shift quite a bit.
Yeah, and the top 8 drivers, again, at the end of the season, can enter into pro competition the 2021 season, but they can run Pro 2 and Pro. We've seen, you know, drivers, you know, who was it? Most recently, it was the relentless one, Mr. Jeff Jones. So let's take a look. Catch me outside as Jonathan Hurst. He's outside of the whip because right now he's getting prepped for the finals. The other driver in the finals, look at this. Blake Olson and Mike Power. Power definitely fierce, but the judges really laying it out for them and saying, look, don't forego and shallow up in order to pull away from your competitor. And that was the case there for Mike Power. So Blake Olson got the victory. And then the other side, we just saw Derek Madison saying it's breaking up, something's going on, so called that comp timeout. But then when they came back, push come to shove, Jonathan Hurst shoves his way into the finals to go against Blake Olson for the overall win.
Yeah, well, what what themes keep developing for me on this track and in this year in particular is just how much importance the judges have been putting on the lead driver, his responsibilities, his goals, and how it has an impact or an effect on the chase. And I think drivers should really be thinking about that, focusing on that, and especially on this track where little mistakes can result in really big movements off the line, whether you're in the lead or the chase position. So looking forward to a great finals here. Congratulations to Jonathan Hurst and Blake Olson. And hopefully it's a doozy.
Yep, first up we'll see Madison and Power, but now I'm going to throw it over to Lorette Nickel with the segment of Formula Drift Inside Clips.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Inside Clips presented by Royal Purple. I'm Lorette Nickel. Let's kick things off with news from our friends over at US Drift. A quick reminder that the only event awarding Pro 2 licenses east of the Mississippi will go down this weekend at the VIR track in Hampton, Virginia. The shootout, Battle on the Bay, will go down October 23rd through 25th, and you can win your weight in beer, one of the 5 Pro 2 licenses, plus a ton more great prizes. Check out the NBC Gold Pass for the live broadcast. The gritty performance Rowdy Energy Toyota GR Supra has received a new heart after damaging their engine in Seattle. Ken Gucci and his team now have an updated 3.2-liter Run BC Stroker engine that puts out 200 foot-pounds more torque than their previous engine. The Gucci gang is looking forward to seeing what the new setup can do after such a tough doubleheader weekend. He's testing today, so go to his Instagram for up-to-the-minute updates. Dylan Hughes has been very productive in working on many different projects, and most recently, Dylan was asked to test out the Arrive and Race program that the BMW Performance School is creating. Dylan, an experienced driver, racer, and rally school instructor, was one of the very first trusted students that drove the program in exchange for his valuable feedback. He drove the new BMW M4 GT4, which is a non-street legal car, straight from the factory, complete with a full roll cage. More information will be released on the school soon. Kyle Mohan is returning to FD for the Texas rounds and couldn't be more excited as he's ready to meet the competition in his revamped 3-rotor RX-8, running on green, earth-friendly, and US-made American ethanol and renewable lubricants. We can't wait to see you in the team, Kyle. Longtime FD announcer Jared Dand is hosting the Hot Wheels Legends Tour online with Colette Davis, and the team will immortalize a new Hot Wheels, which will become a die-cast after over 200 submissions at the end of 10 rounds. The contest will wrap up in November. Best of luck to everyone that enters, and tune in to the Hot Wheels Facebook page for the broadcast on Saturday, October 24th. Have you seen the new project Ryan Turk recently unveiled on his social channels? Oh my gosh. This Formula Supra is based off of the F1 V10 era, and he's created this build after dreaming about it for over 10 years. He didn't know it was a possibility until he found out about the Judd engines, and that's where this journey began. He sent a note to Inside Clips and said, "The V10s and the sounds they produce are so iconic to me. The engine I got my hands on isn't exactly an F1 engine, but it was derived from one and shares a lot of the same parts, and it has the sound I want." He isn't exactly sure when it'll be ready, and it won't be a drift competition car, but he will reserve it for content projects and use it for future time attack and hill climb events. Congrats, Ryan. Way to hang on to your dreams and bring them into reality. Finally, let's bring in FD's VP, Ryan Sage, for some updates on Texas and Irwindale. Ryan?
Good morning, everybody. I've got a lot to cover, so I'm going to try to jump right into it. Everything I'm about to say is actually already contained on our website on the event details page of the Texas Motor Speedway event. I'm going to give you the cliff notes for those that watch the weekly Inside Clip show. I want to give you a basic outline of the venue as it currently stands right now. You'll see that the track is in the same general location, the paddock is in the same general location, and now seating has been moved from temporary grandstands, which were typically right around here, to the main grandstand seating in turn 1. You'll be entering into gate 6 and 7, which is in a similar area to where you used to enter before. You would walk in here and then go to the grandstands. Now you're going to be walking over here and going into this seating. So this venue is a no fan interaction in the paddock. So the areas that you'll be able to go are the concession stands, obviously the grandstand seats, and we will have teams that are going to be doing merchandise sales with 10x10 booths that are going to be located underneath the grandstands. So that's big picture, general overview. What else can you expect from Texas Motor Speedway? Well, in addition to having Big Hoss on, which is obviously a great item to have, we are also going to be adding a secondary Jumbotron, which is going to be located right around here. So you'll have viewing that you can see a Jumbotron from this side. You'll also be able to have an unobstructed view to the track. And then of course you're going to have Big Hoss, which is over here. Now the track layout we are running, and we'll give you more details on this week when we give you a high resolution graphic, is the old school track, the super high speed track that we probably did about 5 years ago. So the cars will be driving towards you, hitting that left-hand sweeper, going through the power alley, and then doing the big outside zone. All right, now moving on to Irwindale Speedway. At 9 o'clock this morning, we released a limited number of tickets, 25% of the open inventory, for anticipation that we may be able to have public fans at Irwindale. It is not guaranteed. We will know probably by the end of the month whether or not this allowance will be stipulated by the local governments and the state, but we've been alerted that there's a possibility, so we are going to be releasing 25% of the open inventory. Of course, it's 100% assurance that if we are not able to have fans and we know at the time when this takes place that we will refund tickets 100%. So if you want to buy your tickets now and guarantee that you can be part of the 25% allowance, that's what we would recommend that you do. If by chance that doesn't happen, we will refund you 100%. So those are on sale as of this morning on the Formula Drift website. All right, stay tuned for more updates. We're less than 2 weeks out. Don't forget to dress up for Halloween. We're all going to be doing it at Texas Motor Speedway, and we'll keep you guys updated. Thanks, Lorette.
Thank you, Ryan. That's it for this week's Inside Clips. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope everyone is well, and see you next week.
Right on. Get some updates there from Lorette. We're going to see her tomorrow on and of course Sunday. Here we go. Third place, Mike Power, Derek Madison. All right, fairly equally matched in the power category. Both of them, all four cars in the Final Four are absolute shredders. A lot of horsepower, very dominant. But right now, these gentlemen unfortunately lost their previous battle, but could still get on the box, get on the podium. That third
heat.
place. What's that?
That heat.
Oh yeah, look at that. Feeling the heat, feeling the flow, feeling the vibe. Here we go. Madison and Power. Madison initiates outside zone, past that front clip. Oh, look at Mike Power. Woo! Get right to the side of it, Mike Power. Oh, and just as I say that, he goes off course. Madison consistent. Don't know if that was a lift there by Madison. Oh, and look at that. Madison crosses the finish line, then straightens out. Wow.
Madison massively left the door open for Power to take advantage of it, but it did not turn out the way that I think he expected, but we obviously need to take a look at what happened there leading to Power going off course. It was an incredible job of being aggressive. He got tucked up right on the inside. Let's take a look at it from the beginning. Here's Madison. There's that initiation that he turns out of really quickly. And look at Power. Great angle there, getting into outside zone 2. Now the transition back around. You can see Power kind of gets pushed out a little bit. Now remember, that is a decel zone, so the chase driver should be expecting the lead driver to be slowing down or making a change in momentum going into outside zone number 3. Here it is from the drone, slowing it down. Power's accelerating, getting right up next to Madison. And he starts going off course during the transition. And it also looks like that even Madison wasn't able to get completely out to that outside zone. But Power goes off course, and that's going to be the most instrumental aspect of this run so far that the judges are going to have to analyze.
We are getting word that Mike Power did call a competition timeout. And there we can see that, again, that brand new 2021 Nightshade Tundra, also offered in the Tacoma, as Mike Power calls his NGK competition timeout. Do spark plugs timeout? They sure do. And timely spark plug replacement not only prevents fouling and provides the best engine performance, it ensures less repair time and can save you money on unnecessary repairs. Visit ngksparkplugs.com to learn more about original equipment, suggested spark plug intervals, and find the best plug for your engines. NGK, the ignition specialist. As Derek Madison calls that comp timeout, Ryan?
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's remind all the fans at home that a competition timeout is able to be used only once in competition, and it looks like he used it really quickly there. He gets up to 5 minutes to fix whatever he needs to on his vehicle, but once that 5 minutes expires, he either needs to go back to the line or he will be out of competition.
All right, so yeah, and the time starts once you put your hands on the car. So I believe a lot of it had to do with Mike Power actually just making sure the car is nutted and bolted and we're all good and ready to go, up to snuff, making sure alignment was all good. So brings up to the line, second half of this third place battle, Ryan. Who's going to get the final podium spot? Right now, all signs are saying that of Derek Madison with Mike Power going off track. Let's see what you got. Getting the Nightshade Toyotas off the track, and we'll be clear to send. Second half of this battle. Remember, after this, we have the finals. Blake Olson, I can see Jonathan Hurst pulling up to the burnout box. It looks like the Toyotas back into formation. And here we go. Sopa, go ahead and throw the Ropa out there and throw him down. There we go. Lights are extinguished. Send it, fellas. Here we go. Power now up front. Madison in the chase position. Initiating. Cropper on that first outside zone. Power powering through the power alley. Living up all the power here. Remember, Power had that mistake. It goes off course. If Madison keeps it clean, keeps it where the rubber meets the road, still an active chase, just kicks back, keeps it comfortable, and I believe Derek Madison will get that final podium spot. Unfortunately for Power, made that big mistake going off course in the first half of the battle.
Well, you can see Madison there feeling very confident about the second half of the run. Seems like he feels like he's got it in the bag here. Power needed to pull out all the stops and drop everything and focus on his lead run. He does a great job here overall. You could see that he was able to fill outside zone 1. Good transition to inside clip 1 and outside zone 2. Madison not getting all the way out there, so leaving a little bit left to be desired. But the big mistake, if it goes against Power, it's a clear victory for Madison, and that's pretty much what it's going to boil down here, irrespective of run number 2 with Power in the lead.
All right. I believe Madison's going to get the win unofficially. Let's make it official. Looking forward to Blake and Hurst, man. This should be a good one. Slide him left for Power, right for Derek Madison, and there we go. D-Mads, Team Infamous, getting the win, getting third place here at round 3 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Congratulations, Derek Madison, pumping the fist and getting that final podium spot.
And Jared, just a reminder for all the fans on site, we have moved the podium all the way over to the main grandstand, so that'll be kind of cool, for folks that want to join and check out the podium ceremony.
Are you going to give me a piggyback ride over there?
I think you can walk.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate that. That's fine. One more battle left to find out who wins here. Man, again, just a slow trickle, bit of a drip, you know, starting things off. 32, got through it really quickly. Obviously had a 2-hour break, over 2 hours. And then 16, couple one more times. Saw some battles, and here we are. Blake Olson ready to go against Jonathan Hurst. Jonathan Hurst up there in the burnout box. Who's going to get the win here at round 3 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship? The points at stake. First place, 100 points. Second, 88. Third, 76. You can see so on and so forth. Yeah, so we'll see who jumps up. Either of these guys are going to take the lead from Brudski. Love got knocked out early. And there goes Hurst warming up his Achilles. Oh, so Hurst, we are getting an update that Hurst will take the lead no matter what. No matter the outcome here, either 100 or 88 points, but Hurst will take the lead from Brudski. So a shifting of the guards going into Irwindale. Ryan, did you hear that? Hurst will take the lead regardless of the outcome of this battle.
Yeah, it's a huge victory for him no matter what happens here in the finals. And he is putting the pressure on Brudski and Joshua Love. So we will find out just how big that lead becomes here after this final battle, which is the finals of Pro 2. And I got to say, it's been a pretty fun competition to watch in the top 16, seeing the guys get better run by run. This is a very challenging course. It always has been. This venue in general is very, very challenging in terms of the track layouts. No matter which way you go, the smoke can be really tough. Sometimes the way the sun is setting at this time of the year is challenging. It's always been hard, and it's very, very spread out. So for drivers and for spotters to try to figure out what their driver needs to do, it can be a really, really tough overall challenge for both sides of things. So congratulations to everybody who made it this far. Let's find out who's taking the win.
Here we go. Lights are on. Let's send it here for the final time here today. Our first portion of this battle, Jonathan Hurst, Cast Racing G37 out in front. Blake Olson in the chase position, coming us from Las Vegas. Hurst and Olson. Oh, and Blake makes a big mistake there. He comes unwound through that power rally. Now into that third outside zone and the sweeper. And there it goes. Blake Olson exits stage right with Olson going off course. Man, he absolutely went way off course.
It started early, Jared. It started right after inside clip number 1. And as it began to build after that, it resulted in going off course. Watch this flick right here, or this transition back around from massive angle. Pulls it out, is not able to hold it. Now he's like, oh my gosh, I got to catch up now. Then he starts dropping a tire, gets close to the outside zone, goes off, and then right here, it's over.
Yeesh. Oh, poor Balake.
You can kind of see the frustration there.
Oh, man, Oshevitz. Yeah, okay, watch this transition. Looks like...
Once again, the smoke and the sun.
Yeah, and the course just ate him up. You saw him drop that back right tire, and he said, you're not getting away, and the tentacles just wrapped him up and threw him off course. So, the abyss of the track, Texas Motor Speedway, and that sweeper.
This was a sick angle right here, but he didn't really have enough mustard to get it all the way through and pull that off. Seen a couple drivers do that. We know that's a really big talent that Justin Pollock has in the Pro Series, but it is a really, really tough thing to manage, and you have to take a measured approach here overall when you're going into this final battle to just make sure you don't push too hard, find that balance overall against your competitor.
Real quick, did you say he didn't have enough mustard?
Yeah, mustard.
Okay, all right. Like stone
the
ground?
condiment, yeah.
Like stone ground or French's yellow?
Brown, mixed in with yellow.
Okay, all right, I like that. Yeah, it's good. No Dijon. I'm out on Dijon mustard.
No good?
No. Like a good stone ground, money.
Some jalapeno.
Oh, some jalapenos in there? Okay, yeah, I'm with some jalapenos. Where we go for dinner, bro? Here we go. Who's going to eat? Who's going to drink the champagne on the box, top of the box? Blake Olson or Jonathan Hurst? Right now, all sides are saying, oh! And you saw Blake throw it down, but with that major mistake, Hurst can shut it down because that is an unchaseable run at that point, Ryan. I mean, that was massive angle there. Hurst almost got inside of him, so very exciting Pro 2, but I believe you know the outcome. Unfortunately for Blake Olson, you know what? Got all the way here, and then just it crumbles apart, man. Not enough mustard, mayonnaise, ketchup, all that.
Don't matter, dog. Yeah, that's a tough break here. I mean, I think he had to try something.
You say that's a tough break?
No, a tough break here. And Blake did need to try something like doing that and trying to hold it out to outside zone 2, maybe force an error on Jonathan Hurst, but unfortunately is not able to pull it off. And it's going to be an easy call for the judges. Jonathan Hurst is going to get your win here. We'll bring him down. We'll make it quick. But after that incomplete, the run is over. Hurst can shut it down, and he is going to be your victor here this afternoon.
My mama called, see you on TV. Say congratulations. So we will bring the drivers up close, and we will announce them, but pretty sure you know the outcome of it. Derek Madison gets third place in our finals between Hurst and Olson. All right, there we go. Bringing the drivers over there. Again, third place, locked in. Right? That's a good one. All right, so again, it is Halloween. So you got the Hurst out here. Jonathan Hurst. And we are waiting for Blake Olson. Don't know where he ran off to. There he is. Making sure his car's running. He snapped out. Make some noise for these guys. Thanks for joining us out here at Texas Motor Speedway, either in person or online. Remember, tune in tomorrow for round 5 on tomorrow, Saturday, and then round 6 on Sunday of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. All right, third place here at Texas Motor Speedway, round 3 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Third place from St. Louis, it is Derek Madison, D-Mads. And that Inertia Garage S chassis gets third place. Congratulations, D-Mads. Sweet shades, nice little grollet there. And your winner here at round 3 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. You'll join us over at the podium. Get those carbon fiber trophies. Your winner here in the Cash Racing G37, Jonathan Hurst gets the win. Jonathan Hurst gets the win. And now is our points leader after 3 rounds. Only 1 round left. And second place for his first Pro 2 podium. Second place from Las Vegas is Blake Olson. Blake Olson, second place behind the wheel of that BMW. Stance coilovers, Achilles tires, and there he is. Blake Olson, second place here in Texas. Congratulations, Hurst, Olson, and Madison. We'll see you over at the podium. I'll be heading over there right now. I believe, Ryan, is that, there you go. There is the current point standings. So Brudsky gets knocked down to second. Hurst rises to the occasion, Ryan.
Yeah, big performance by Jonathan Hurst. Congratulations. This is going to be your top 5 guys going into the final event of the year in just a couple weeks.
All right, so again, congratulations. I'll head over to the podium. We'll give out some carbon fiber trophies, practice safe social distancing, and keep your hands clean, right? So again, tomorrow, join us. Take a look at the time, and we are going live on the live stream, excuse me, at 10:30. 10:30, top 32 competition begins. We'll have a break, and we'll begin top 16 at 2:30. That's what time you got to go to the dentist. There's the schedule for tomorrow, round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Top 32 at 10:30 and 2:30 for top 16. And again, the break 1:15. Thank you guys and gals. On behalf of Ryan Sage, I'm Jared Dienda. We'll see you tomorrow for round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship from Texas Motor Speedway. Here are some highlights from today's Pro 2 action.